Okay. Good evening. This is the Groton Board of Education meeting being held on March 23rd at the central office. It's being held remotely and in person. Welcome everybody that came in person tonight. And the first order of business is, I'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, then I'll do roll call. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, board members present tonight are Mike Whitney, Jen White, Adrian Johnson, myself, Deb Washington, and online we have Ian Thomas, Jay Whitloff, Mitch Shimbrock, and Dr. Andrea Ackerman. And that's it. And Central Office Directors, we have the Director of Finance tonight, Rita Posiak, and the Director of Facilities, Sam Kilpatrick, and our Assistant Superintendent, Dr. Anne Marie Mancini, and of course the Superintendent, Susan Austin. And then we have Clint Kennedy here, Director of Technology. He's over there in the corner because he's misbehaving, so we stuck him in the corner. And we have Ernie Koshmeyer present too, Director of Food Services. Did I give you a new title, or is that? No, that's a good one. Okay. Okay. I think that is it. Okay. The next order, this is Board Member Appreciation Month, and I just want to say thank you to all the board members for their continued commitment to serve the students in the community of Groton, and for the hard work coming to all the meetings and doing the research and asking the right questions. So thank you to every single board member. I mean, I think Connecticut has 1,400, did I write it down? I think they have like 1,400 board education members, which are the largest elected group in Connecticut, board of education members. Yep.
And I want to add to that, I want to thank all of you for your dedication and your support, and for having this common mission, which is all about our students and our student reps too. They're really learning about civic responsibility, and we appreciate it. And they have lots of other responsibilities too. But Ernie Koshmeyer brought us some cookies, and I've got a certificate for each one of you, and we have a little bag of some goodies that are Groton Public Schools.
And I also want to congratulate the Fitch High School boys basketball team, and also the Groton Middle School girls and boys basketball team for being champions, ECC champs for the Fitch High School, and the middle school were the middle school champs. So that's very good. The next item is comments from citizens in regard to items and other subjects of concern that lie within the jurisdiction of the Board of Education. This is the portion of the agenda where the board welcomes comments from citizens. Each presentation should be limited to 5 minutes or less, and citizens should, if possible, submit written comments. Presentations should be related to matters pertinent to Groton. Board members will only ask questions in order to clarify the speaker's presentation and cannot respond during comments of citizens portion of the board meeting. Citizens should make their presentation from the podium, and if they're online, if you could please raise your hand so we can promote you if you're online and you would like to speak, and please give us your name and address. Is there anyone online that would like to address the Board of Education tonight? Caitlin, anybody's hand up?
Yes, Monica White. I just promoted her.
Okay. All right, Monica White.
Hi, thank you guys so much for allowing me to come back. My name is Monica White, and again, my address is 26 Cathedral Heights in Groton, and I'm a mother of 3 students in Groton Public Schools. I wanted to say I love that it is Board of Education Member Appreciation Month, because I am actually coming to share gratitude You guys allowed me to speak recently at the budget meeting, and I am very grateful that you were able to allocate a $4,000 stipend to support the development of a program aimed at addressing food insecurity within our system. After I received notice of this funding, this allotment of funds for the 2026-27 budget, I did meet with some of my community partners, and I have already secured $6,000 to be used for purchasing food during the 2026-27 school year.
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah, once the budget is formally approved, I plan to continue seeking out additional financial support to help ensure that this has long-term success and that it's a sustainable program. Again, thank you for your support and your commitment to meeting the needs of our students and their families. I am so grateful for this decision and that you have designated these funds to have an individual within the system that is dedicated to building and sustaining this program in partnership with us and other community partners.
Well, thank you for all that you're doing to help the community with food insecurity, and thank you for coming to the board meeting and raising our conscience about this issue, and for Adrian asking us to put it in the budget. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all so very much, and I'll be at the meeting on Wednesday to support the budget as it moves forward as well.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Have a nice night.
Yes, ma'am. You as well.
Okay, next on the agenda is student representative report, and we have Nick and Winter with us tonight.
Just a response to...
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I mean, I was just going to respond to Monica saying thank you for coming out and speaking and doing all that work already. I really appreciate it, and I think for next year's budget, there's going to be a lot of students and families that really appreciate it. So thank you.
Okay, who's first?
I'll start. So I'm just going to specifically talk about a pasta dinner that the seniors just hosted. It was a pasta dinner plus a raffle, which we thought was pretty successful. We specifically had these two older ladies come out and win a ton of gifts, so it was fun to see.
Better than bingo.
As well, we also wanted to talk about the academic opportunity because a lot of seniors are committing to colleges now. So that's another event that's taking place. A lot of seniors already know where they're headed. We just are now focusing on like finding roommates if you're going out of state or situations like that. So that's really what's on seniors' minds for concerns. And then as well, I want to talk about the winter sports again. We thought that was very successful this year, not just in basketball, but in other sports as well.
What other sports?
Just going off of that,
Indoor track was doing well, and then swimming.
yeah, phenomenal. We also want to give a shout out to Fitch's math team that they made states, and it was the first time in a very long time. We also hosted an event called Fitch's Got Talent, where students were given the opportunity to showcase their many talents, like singing, dancing, playing instruments. And then for education-wise, juniors are taking the SAT on Wednesday. Very big deal. And then underclassmen will be taking the PSAT. And then, like Nick said, winter season was phenomenal. And now we're moving into spring, which started today. And I'm a golfer, so I'm so excited for the spring season and what it has to bring. Yeah.
Awesome.
Now, the last time you were here, you talked about, you were going to talk to Mr. Brown about this, CTO class, about the juniors and the sophomores. I don't have my notes with me.
Yes, I remember this. Me and Akira were here last time, and we talked about having a stronger relationship between upperclassmen and lowerclassmen, just having like conversations with them and giving them advice. BSU and National Honor Society has really paved way for that. At least like once a month we have little like presentations for the underclassmen where we showcase studying tips, or we show them like how to study for the midterm, how to study for your AP classes, what you need to do in preparation for SAT. And besides that, that's all we've really done so far.
You've also encouraged them to take some of those higher
Yes,
courses.
we
I
do,
know
yeah.
you all started that a while ago, and we've seen it in the numbers. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Oh, yeah, because you did mention that the last time also,
Yeah.
that the higher classes were not that diverse.
Yes.
Yeah.
This time we went to each individual CTLs and we talked about all the opportunities that Fitch has, as our curriculum is very diverse, and we showcased all the types of classes that each student can take and what we recommend them to take and just our advice for them.
Now, when you become student reps in the beginning of the year, how do the other students know who the student reps are?
I don't know if we've made an announcement about student reps to our school.
I know personally, like as a student rep, I haven't, like I know it's not broadcasted, but I will like ask questions, especially if there's a pressing issue. Like when the phone rule came out, I asked a lot of people like how did they feel about that, because it was a lot stricter than in the past years. But I feel that people have adjusted to that pretty well.
All right. Any questions for the student reps?
No. Thank
No?
you for all you do.
Thank you so much.
You're a junior, right, Winter?
Yes, I am.
And Nick,
The season.
the senior. You know what college you're going to?
Yeah, I either want to go to South Florida or Clemson.
Oh, Clemson.
Both
Okay.
self.
When do you have to make a decision?
For South Florida, April 1st for priority housing, but the deadline for all colleges is May 1st.
Okay, so you still got a little bit.
Yeah.
What do you have one that you're leaning more towards?
Yeah, I am leaning toward Clemson, but they did get knocked out first round. And
Well, if you want that, you can go to UConn.
Well, you can hope for better success with that football
Oh,
team.
yeah.
Well, good luck to you if we don't see you again, Nick. But hopefully you'll come back in May and give us an update. But good luck if we don't see you.
Thank you.
Okay. The next item on our agenda is superintendent and administration. Let me ask you this too. Can I backtrack with the student rep?
Yeah.
How can we make the student rep position? You think we can make it a little better, or
As in, like,
improve it? How can we improve upon the student rep position? Or is it perfect the way it is?
I know that when I went to, I forget what it was, but it was like an event.
Caps.
Yeah, for all student representatives across schools. A lot of them had like interviews, or like people come to them for the position. So even though I don't necessarily think like interviews or application processes that rigorous are needed, I think that it would be good to let everyone know that this is an opportunity
Oh,
available
yeah.
for all students, and then they can come forward and see if they want the position, because I know that we were approached with the position.
Okay.
and just adding to that, I know during that convention we were able to hear ideas about how they pull information, and I think for us it would be better if we had some type of website or form where students were able to submit like their ideas and information, because really we have to go out of our way to ask students, like friends, and I feel like this way we can get a more diverse opinion.
Good idea.
You know, that's one thing I was telling the superintendent when I was chair years ago. I used to actually go to the high school and come into the classrooms, the junior and the senior classrooms, and talk to the students about what it is to be a student rep for the Board of Education.
Yeah.
And I said I was going to start doing
That's
that
a
again.
great idea,
And I was
yeah.
going to take, I don't know if you know Dan. Dan used to be, Dan Gajewski, he's a state rep now, but he used to be a student rep. I was going to bring him along with me and talk about that. So that's something I intend to do.
That's a great
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
And I hope for one year we even had a student rep on a committee. He came to finance all the time. You remember Sam? He came to finance and facilities all the time. But I know you guys are busy, but it would be nice to get you on one committee. And if you could come, you know, whenever you could come, that would be great.
Like
Okay.
curriculum.
Very
Yeah,
helpful with
that would be a
Yeah.
good one.
So, okay, thank you. Thank you. Now I'll turn it over to
All
the
right.
superintendent.
So I will talk about Mary Morrison when it's time to talk about Mary Morrison, but I had a really busy weekend, very proud of Groton. I started with Children First Early Childhood Fair. It was at Thames River Magnet, and last year it was super crowded. It was almost too crowded. This year they spread it out a little more, and we had a little more elbow room. But all of our community partners were there. It's really a wonderful event. We had our registrar there, so our new kindergartners were getting enrolled. Parents were taking pictures of them, and it's just a great event for our families. And so I really commend Children First Groton and the small team at Groton Public Schools and the community partners for all their work on that. So thank you. And Into the Woods was super fabulous from our high school students, and I don't know, I laughed, I cried, I clapped, and, makes you want to sing and dance, but they were so good, and I thought our sound system and lights were a little better, but still a little need of improvement, so I really want to get it professional, because our kids are professional like Broadway, so. So it was a very great weekend. Lots of fun.
In the Early Childhood Resource Fair.
Yep, I talked about that. It was with the partners. It was really, parents were leaving with bags of books and all kinds of things and pictures, and I think kids enjoyed it too. So,
Let's talk about the AI advisory committee.
actually, Dr. Kennedy's going to talk about the AI advisory committee.
Hi, everybody. I have a very short presentation I was going to share, if that works.
Have you all been exploring AI?
To a certain extent.
Yeah.
Yeah, some classes have assignments that require AI.
Yeah.
It's what you put into it
Yeah.
that
Yes.
you get out of it, right?
Yes, absolutely.
There will be plenty more opportunities to share, and I have ideas about student feedback and helping you help understand better. So I would love to talk afterwards. All right. Hi, everybody. Policy is official, as we all know now. And as part of that, there is a requirement to come back and inform the board on status and so forth. I believe we ultimately ended on a yearly one, but with your permission, Board Chair, we'd like to do this on a quarterly basis, even if it's just a quick update on where we're at, what we're doing, and so forth. The committee felt it was important to at least offer that, just because things are changing so quickly and moving and so forth. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at. So we've had multiple sessions over the first quarter of 2026. We really started by reviewing the new board policy and understanding it kind of from how we could comply with that, but also ultimately what the guidance that was and where we're headed and so forth. So that was kind of our first order of business. We really kind of took the conversation from there into defining what our goals were. And this is not a complete list. This is really, we're still in the analysis mode. So we're still really workshopping a lot of this. So we wanted to share, kind of peel back the curtains and show you what we're thinking is, but this is by no means a plan or a set article or whatever the case may be. Equitable access for all students and teachers was one of the first things that we really dove into. Certainly safety and age appropriateness as far as when certain tools should be introduced and how they're used and so forth. A big portion of our conversation is around this idea of authentic learning, which to me very much matches and pairs with cognitive load, meaning these tools are wonderful in many ways, but they also offload a lot of the thinking process in this. So if we're not careful, we do not want to create a dependency and not ultimately have learning take place. We know learning is actually hard, and there is a certain amount of cognitive load that you need to take so that we can learn. Nobody's learning when they simply have someone else write an essay, be that a human being or an AI tool, to submit. So we spent a lot of time on that, as well as staff readiness to understand what this world is about, how it's most appropriately used in the classroom, and how do we maintain that cognitive load and so forth. How we go about doing this was an additional part of kind of our getting organized and analysis phase. You don't see teachers and students in there because, of course, those are our key constituents. But some of the committee felt very strongly that we don't always do a good enough job with some of these new technologies including our paraprofessionals, including our tutors, and certainly our parents who are home helping to hopefully guide and learn together and work with this. So those are some of the findings and some of the notes that we took. Certainly, we're going to be meeting regularly through the end of this year, and at the end of this, I'm going to give you a very quick brief on what we're thinking as far as short, mid, and long-term goals. Additionally, some of what we talked about is really ultimately the plan we create or the guidance that we give has to have the end in mind, you know, the as is to the to be and where we ultimately want to go with this. It's a little difficult, and we were kind of laughing about this because it's changing and the target is moving so quickly. The idea of us creating a 3-year plan that's perfect and we roll it out and everybody learns and we've done our job and go home is a little silly. So we want to start with the end in mind and how that impacts curriculum, instruction, assessment, and so forth. But we know we are not so naive to think that we can create that perfect plan. So this is an ongoing process. Certainly professional development, and I am going to be coming to my colleagues and seeing how we make sure we have adequate time for that over the coming years. There is a great variance that we've seen, and I believe that will continue, so we certainly do want to bake in not only that time, but also experiences that honor the different levels of where people are at and help move everyone forward at their pace with a goal of proficiency, but making sure that we have regular time and we're able to differentiate as we do some of this work. We spent a lot of time kind of reviewing tool sets and ultimately what those options are out there. We've talked about this a little bit before, but the work that we have ahead of us almost immediately is these seem to be the 4 ed tech companies that have the biggest amount of mind share that we're seeing rolling out in schools across the country. Not in high level numbers because these tools are not free, but are getting a lot of are pushing the envelope, are really starting to build not just tools that assist, but some of these are even starting to take over kind of the learning space as a whole, which, depending on how you're talking about it, could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing, there could be nuance to that and so forth. So these are certainly Brisk. Teaching has a star on that. We are customers of Brisk at the very, very introductory level. We pay a small amount to have access to some of those tools. The Impromptu Committee 2 years ago made that decision to do some testing and so forth. And we are continuing to kind of shepherd people towards Google Gemini. We pay for Google licensing. We do a lot with the Google Suite, with our Chromebooks, Google Classroom, et cetera, et cetera. It has age-appropriate guardrails and so forth on there. And the foundational model at gemini.google.com is a very strong competitor to your ChatGPTs or your Anthropic Claudes or whatever the case may be. So we're continuing to kind of give that guidance. Okay, so where are we headed? So we're going to continue to meet now through June, and we're really going to kind of continue this approach of analysis and goal setting to try to continue to wrap our arms around this and have something that we can share at the end of this second quarter, which actually has some tasks and some action items that the committee wants to share that we think are appropriate as next steps.
Can you just tell me real quick, who's on the committee, not who, but, you know, the composition?
So yeah, we went out, I worked with principals, we have classroom teachers, we have support staff, we have administrators, we have paraprofessionals right now.
Okay.
We're trying to do a mix, and I'm trying to encourage more people to show up and join, and I'd like to have as many minds working on this and within a group that's manageable and so forth. I would be willing to guess that this week it would probably be a good thing is if the makeup of this committee evolves somewhat over time, so that we're hearing from a lot of different voices and certainly student voices. And as I said at the beginning, paras, tutors, and parents, certainly.
Parents.
We want paras and parents, sorry,
Yeah.
that we want to make sure are included in this process, ultimately, whatever it looks like. So short term, we're going to kind of continue as is through the end of the school year.
Can you hold tight for 1 second? Adrian has a question.
Oh, yeah, I was just because we were on that, I just looked up policy up and it did mention suggesting parents and board members too. Is that something that's in the plan?
Sure. Well, as we talked about parents, certainly. And I'm happy to share the committee scheduled meetings and so forth. We're not going to say no to anybody.
All right.
Sure. Okay. Midterm, really what I'm thinking is summer goes. I really would like to, I think where we're headed is making sure we do a deep dive in alignment with ultimately what's happening from a curriculum instruction assessment standpoint. So I'm going to ask my colleague Anne Marie to dive deep with us and the committee and so forth. So I don't think we're going to be doing our job if we let either of those get too far ahead of each other. And some of those tools that I mentioned are there to help support that effort, and they're starting to dive deeper into that. But learning from colleagues around the country that are really pushing the envelope on this, I think it's important that those two track together. Ultimately, longer term, meaning next school year, we certainly are going to continue with this, but the experiences that we've identified across the board with all those members of that constituent groups, the goal is to have them have real experiences so that they're building their knowledge more so. It's happening in the classroom, it's supporting student work, and there's an iterative process so we can get better. Again, anytime anybody comes to me and claims they are an AI expert, I am certainly not. I grow very skeptical because of the changing nature of this, and so forth, especially when applied to the work and what we do here in a public school system. So that's kind of the timeline that we have. And I think I might have mentioned tongue-in-cheek at some point, but we're getting together July 5th to talk about other technology-related stuff.
Right.
Maybe not the 5th. I don't think that lines up perfectly with the calendar, but I'd love to come back after second quarter and give a status report and align and move forward from there.
Okay.
I think that's a Saturday.
Again, I was spitballing you.
Any questions for Quinn? And students, feel free if you have a question. Jane?
Thank you for having a plan, a start with the end in mind. It's always good to have a plan because you can't define success or where you're going without a plan, right? So thank you for that. I did attend an AI presentation, and they were saying, and like everything is like so much changing, that AI is really probably going to explode within the next 5 to 7 years, and this is just the precursors. So like the big, like the Metas, the Google,
AIs.
the
Yeah,
OpenAIs
sure.
and everything. So looking forward to see like of the educational ones, like who's going to get absorbed, and the fact that you're using Google, they're one of the ones that is in the forefront of that technology. So thank you.
Yes, and I can't say it enough. Thank you for the comments, but I can't say it enough. And this is not me deflecting, but I really want to be careful with how we're proceeding because of the change of pace and how this is going. I don't necessarily have the best strategies to tackle that, but I think we should be very aware of that as we're working through this and getting feedback and having feedback based on real experiences and so forth.
Any other questions? Anyone? Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, just two quick ones. With AI, it's very computationally expensive. Are there any consideration of the environmental impacts that it has both here and elsewhere?
You've heard me mention that before. It is something that we talk about all the time, and I always share as I'm running professional development opportunities. There are different models that promise to do all things to everyone, and I try to have people fit the right tool for the right job. We don't always have to create 30-second videos and so forth, which we know have orders of magnitude higher impact on the environment, electricity needs and so forth, when a smaller model that's text-based will more than adequately do a summary task or something like that. So, yes, absolutely. And please, I would love everyone to keep that in mind and talk about that and ask that question because it's a huge impact.
Thank you. And then I know in the educational realm, we've got sort of different rights for using copyright material because it's for educational use. But more broadly, AI does have that concern about, I call it, it kind of breaches intellectual property rights, and more colloquially, people say, well, it steals people's content. You talk about guardrails age-related, but in these educational platforms, are there any guardrails for that at all, or is it even possible at this point?
So there are additional guardrails on some of these specifically identified ed tech companies that are using AI and positioning them into the K-12 space. So yes, how much of those guardrails are specifically the onus is on them from a copyright question standpoint? there are so many cases that are winding themselves through the courts right now. It's a fair question. I don't know exactly how they're handling it. I would assume they would answer, because most of these ed tech companies are not training their own foundational models, they are licensing the use of the foundational models. If we asked them that question, they would probably point to the foundational models. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know. But that's ultimately, I think, where we're headed, is the test cases winding their way through the courts for those foundational models, and we'll see where that goes.
Thank you.
Sure.
And just a comment. I think 2 years ago you could say whether or not reliably you're using AI given moment. Now it's foggy. I think a year from now it'll be embedded in whatever, whether we realize it or not. So there's, I appreciate the cautious approach, but just our students to be technology savvy and be able to navigate their way through the world have to be educated about its uses, its pitfalls, as well as our teachers and staff too. So it's a challenge going ahead.
Yeah, certainly.
If I may just comment on that very quickly. I am purposely trying not to be a cheerleader for this technology, because I think we should try to be as neutral as possible, certainly understanding that this is coming whether we all like it or not. That being said, I use this in my work every day as a professional and don't envision a future without it, yes.
Carefully.
Anne Marie?
I just want to make a comment. So Clint has been working with some of our teacher groups this year to provide professional development, and by and large, without question, the feedback that he's gotten from his sessions have been the most highly rated of the sessions that have been offered this year. So he's done a session each of the 3 district days, and again, most highly rated of all of the presenters, hands down. So I want to compliment him for the work that he's been doing, and I know that we have teachers that in their feedback to me, on the sessions are saying, when are we going to get our opportunity with Mr. Kennedy or Dr. Kennedy? So I know that he's popular, and so much so that the teachers are really, the other teacher groups are looking forward to having his sessions in the coming year.
And he also kicked off our admin retreat and has been meeting with the admin, periodically to give them updates too, which is very much appreciated.
It's my work, this is my job.
Well, we appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Okay, next is report from the Director of Finance.
I have a few of them. I'm going to start sharing.
Sorry, let me stop.
Take AI.
That's my fault.
Okay.
First is attachment 1. Packet, Mike?
I forgot to go down
Oh,
again.
here, I can look at my phone.
What's that? Oh, yeah. Hi. Thank you.
Don't forget to touch base with Dr. Kennedy, because he'll help you.
Yeah, here, I'll walk you guys out. Okay.
Caitlin, can you make that a little bigger?
It's Rena who's sharing it, not me.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I'm trying.
There's a plus sign, at the top left, that says 100%. There should be a plus sign.
That's lost my, it doesn't look like
It's
when
not
I
in
shared at the,
presentation mode? Or,
it doesn't look like when I shared at the finance facility. There we go.
there she goes.
Yeah. Sorry, it looks a little different than last week.
This was shared at finance and facilities.
Correct. So I'll start with the general fund financials that was discussed at the finance special meeting last week. And here's where we stand as of March 15th. Oh, I was non-mute, I'm so sorry. Okay, so does anybody have any questions regarding the financials? There are notes here, some of them regarding other documents that I'm going to be sharing tonight.
Do you want to add anything, Jen? or-
No, we had a great meeting with Rita the other day, so, as she's brought to the table before, her team is doing a good job reviewing the encumbrances, but not everything at this point has been encumbered. So please don't take that available balance as something that is, available, because her team, is still looking at like purchase orders and, future bills from our bus and our electricity. But Rita.
Right, and also, the non-lapsing funds, as we'll see in the next presentation, has a big impact on if they get approved on this budget, because it'll be offsetting a lot of the areas that are short in this budget. As you can see, in the 500 series,
Yeah.
the projection is 706,000.
Yeah, I was just going to
short.
ask you about that.
Yeah, and that has transportation, tuition in that line. But we'll be sharing, I'll be sharing, where the areas are. But I recommend that the non-lapsing funds be utilized.
And because encumbrances is sometimes a projection, it can be either over or under. So we just have to be really cautious with that. And the closer we get to the end of the year, the more real these numbers become.
Right.
The other thing you said, I think that was important in finance and facilities, Rita, was making sure that POs are, sent out and goods are received. And if they aren't received by the end of June, so you want to speak to that?
Yeah, I am meeting with all of the principals. I have a few meetings this week because we had a leadership meeting last week, and I explained, let's get everything encumbered that you need through the end of the year as soon as possible, so that when my end of the year memo goes out, which is going out in the next week, that we get a true picture of, what we expect to spend by June 30th. I explained that services have to be rendered and the products have to be received by June 30th to be spent, to spend this fiscal year's money on them.
And you're going to notate that on the bottom so that, they know that they, if it's going to be a delay, that
Right, if there's,
the PO's null and void.
if there's back orders by a certain date, we will have to cancel them. So we're working on that. So any other questions on the financials?
Mike, do you have any questions?
Yeah, just generally, actually, well, so for the 500 level one, that's where the 700,000 overage is, and how much of that is pupil transportation? It's in the details, but
Right.
I guess a lot of it.
Trying to think if I know off the top of my head.
Is it also special education transportation, the curtain as well as STA,
Right, it's homeless as well, which is on the rise. It's tuition, so all the 500 is, tuition and transportation. So I know tuition is over as well.
I think, is it on?
Mine's down,
It's above there.
Sorry, I went too far.
Rita.
Page 4.
Yeah, it's like in the middle, regular.
Yeah, so
people transportation.
328,000 is regular transportation.
18,000 is pupil transportation.
It's homeless, right? And some of these areas are on the non-lapsing funds so that we can move expenses from the current budget using non-lapsing.
So over like 700,000. I'm trying to see the other, kind of like 300,000.
So that's down in tuition, which there's 170 right there on the top here. And then
Oh, the lines,
297, all of these tuition lines. Do you see those three, Mike?
And that, those ones, like when we put a budget together, it's a educated guess.
Yes,
On the end, I
correct.
suppose, but it's, you have to wait until the students are there and their needs are identified. So it's a combination of new students coming in and new needs identified.
And it could change in a day. Like, we're constantly monitoring the transportation POs and the tuition POs, because when students leave, we reduce them when students come in. You know, I just approved a PO after these financials for a student that just arrived for special ed. So it goes up and down as students come in and leave during the year.
I think the number that we're seeing is like 800 coming and going within a year.
Yeah.
That's a lot of transient kids.
And is a lot of so in these cases, at this point in the year, are those encumbrances sort of reliable, or are they still a little?
We're checking them every month to make sure that, you know, the student's still here.
Right.
And as they come in, as soon as they come in to the district, we're making sure we get the numbers from whatever agency they're at as soon as we can. You know, we are reliant on the vendor to send us, you know, the contracts and sign up. Sometimes there is a delay, but we work as fast as we can to get the numbers accurate.
Thank you. And my other question I'll just ask is, you know, oil prices have gone up because of Iran conflict. I know we pre-purchase oil in some regards and not in others. Are we seeing that increase yet here? Are we likely to see it before the end of this school year?
You're likely to see it in the next financials. My staff is actually working on that, updating the oil, because we have used what we prepaid.
Okay.
Yes,
So
so
not paying the big bills.
so she just came to, I have a staff member that's dedicated to utilities and transportation, and she came to me last week, and we're working on the encumbrances and to update those. So, yeah, the oil prices are not reflected yet.
Got it. And then this is off a little bit of what we're talking about here, but when do you get to a chance to pre-buy oil? Is it like certain times a year? I'm asking because what are the implications for the budget that the town council soon will be considering?
I believe that window has passed. It was in, I believe, not October, it was even prior to that, and it was really in the beginning of when I started. So we are past that window of purchasing for next year. I can still reach out. But
So we're paying as we go in next year?
Yeah.
So, okay, thank you.
I don't think we want to strike a deal right now.
No, I wouldn't suggest that.
Too much stuff up in the air.
You all set, Mike?
Oh, yes, thank you.
Ian, you have a question?
Yeah, more like a side comment to respond to what Mike asked. Typically, to what I understand, pre-buys tend to happen in mid to late August with a deadline of usually the first week of September.
Yeah, it's early.
Yeah, so it's something to think about moving forward, but definitely as we missed a window now. So, thank you.
Do we usually pre-buy?
I'm not sure if every year you have, I didn't do it in Wyndham.
No.
We
Oh,
did
you
not,
didn't do it
no,
every year in
we
Wyndham.
didn't, not every year.
Okay.
Sam's saying not every year.
Sometimes we pre-bought and had leftover oil that, you know, I don't know if it just rotated into the next year or if they paid us back for it. I don't know how that all works, but we've done it in the past.
Okay.
Yeah, I think last year they
We don't
had,
use it, we can sell it back.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It's happened a couple of times.
I think Beverly, the reason we ended up pre-buying for this year was Ray found an opportunity where the price was really low, so
Yeah.
he was able to do that, but I didn't think that was the norm.
Okay. Any other questions on attachment 1? Okay. Move to attachment number 2, true-up budget transfers.
So we met about this last week, the 14-page document, and I was able to, from feedback from the committee, do a summary page, which is the first page of this document, so that you can see where, in totality, you know, the money's coming from, and two, as far as last year's true-up transfer. So basically, we're moving $274,000 from salaries, $328,000 from benefits, to give to the 300s, 400s, and 600s. So when there's a negative number, that means that we're putting money into those areas. And the budget transfer is a 0, but if you look on the bottom of page 14, I think the total of the budget transfers in the 19 millions. But I just wanted to point out, on the last page, there is one line that had 7.5 million just in that one line. So, and that was
The group health.
the health insurance that was put into there, yeah. Now that we're centralizing the health insurance and all of those centralized, like liability, health insurance, I forgot what the other ones were, there's a few. We won't be doing transfers because they're going to all be in the 200s, if that makes sense. But because it was in 9999, I had to move the expenses.
And because we're doing transfers throughout the year now with you, you're not going to see that big a number having to be trued up. So we're doing it along the way.
I hope to have the first salary true-up transfer for the April facilities meeting, finance and facilities meeting, but this is for last year. I'm just reminding everybody that this is just to clean up last year's financials so that we are aligned within the state statute. If that makes sense.
Any questions for attachment number 2?
It's pretty big, I'm sorry.
No,
I did do the summary on the front page.
Thank you.
We've asked for details.
You want the detail, you get all the detail.
Be careful what you wish for.
Okay. Attachment number 3, healthcare report.
Let me see if I can Okay, let me get there. Okay, so you'll see the attachments that are the normal attachments for the healthcare. I'm not sure why I had another attachment. Susan, do you know?
On the back of this one?
No, it was actually the fund balance. I can pull it up, but it's not in the packet.
Oh.
I could always have it in the next. So every month I receive a fund balance for OPEB and a fund balance for the active health insurance from the town. And that, in my opinion, would give you a true picture of what's in the fund. This is expenses during the year. And this is from MGG, and this tells you how we're in line with the rates that they gave us. It's not really telling you how we're in line with the fund, the actual fund, when you ask how much is in the fund. And so, but I did give you the ones that you normally see on a monthly basis.
Maybe we could bring it to finance and facilities in April and go over the other form and then bring it to the board.
Yeah.
Fresh, okay?
Yeah.
So we can kind of chew on it a little bit.
Yeah, so if there's any questions, I look at this every month, and it's basically just the claims up or down.
Nothing to be concerned about.
No, I'm not concerned, because I watched the fund, the actual fund part of it, and it looks like we're doing okay in the fund. OPEB needs a little bit more money.
Still 4-point-something million
Yeah, it's
over?
4.6, the last one I looked at.
Okay.
Mhm.
So just one question, so I see that overall the combined group ran 108% of the total expected cost in January. For instance, what's that expected cost? What Anthem,
I believe it's Anthem's rates and what they set, or say, what's...
and did they set that, when did
Last
they,
year.
yeah, so almost a year ago. right?
Correct. It's usually over a year
Yeah.
ago that they set that.
It looks like the town is 125%, we're 99, right? Does it say that?
But Mike's talking about the overall, the combined group ran at 108%.
Right.
Yeah,
That's what I
just-
mean, the average.
Oh, that's a good point, because
Yeah.
we're basically right at it. So that bar
Right.
chart, the two sets of bars, one is the Anthem projection that they gave us more or less a year ago, a little more than a year ago.
Right.
And so actually, yeah, looking at that.
So we're kind of neck and neck with that, just,
that chart.
one-
Oh, down here?
And down,
Yeah.
And so our red is our actual cost, so we're as you point out, often going to be overall under that.
I believe so,
Yeah.
yes.
And so that's, because we talked about that in this year's budget delivery.
Correct, we did.
While some months might well be over.
Correct. You have high months, you have low months,
Yeah.
depending on when people go to the doctor and have surgeries. Yeah. It fluctuates.
But right now, you can see that.
Typically, the
July,
high
August-
months are July and August.
Yeah,
Low. October was low.
because you could see July, August, and October is low, and then the situation where our actuals is higher is less than those 3 low months. So unless something happens in the next 4 months where that red, our actuals, like, it's like $1 million more roughly, then we should be okay.
So it is interesting, because, I mean, so they give it, the blue bars are all the same height, so they're just giving it a monthly, a monthly projection,
exactly-
right?
Yeah.
That budgeted cost means their projection.
Yeah,
It doesn't necessarily mean what we budgeted.
The projection, I think, never changes. That's what Mike's like.
Yeah.
yeah, and so, like,
Correct, because they're just spreading it out over 12 months,
Yeah.
right?
so if we see July and August, this coming year, the reds getting up near the blues, then we gotta watch out. I'd say, and even this last year, September getting up there, that was probably at
Yeah,
the time
that's-
concerning, and then it dropped back down, and kind of get a sense those early few months of how it's gonna come out. I mean, assuming it warms up this year.
Mother brings less claims? Better health? Yeah, that's true. Better hard winter, right?
Ian, you have a question? Are you open, Mike?
Yeah.
Ian, you have a question?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to kind of revisit that opening line about the 125% versus the 99%. The way it was phrased, it said the town was running at 125%. And I think Mike did ask about it, but I just didn't quite catch the answer. Is that saying the town, so that the insurance,
For that month.
we share the insurance with the town? Now, does that mean that the town is running 125% over their side, their budgeted side, or are we looking at this number cumulatively of town and Board of Ed combined?
No, this down here is just the Board of Ed. They do separate
Okay, but that initial blurb.
the cost of the
right,
town.
narrative.
I believe it's separate, I believe they're
Combined is
separate.
the 108, Ian. The town is the 125.1, and the board is 99%. And then when you combine
Oh,
the
yeah,
two
the
groups, it's
combined is
108.
108.
Okay, so the town is running over their projected numbers, but we are holding fast for just a hair.
For
on-
January, yeah.
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 Averaging pretty much spot on as to what the projection was.
Right.
Okay, very well then. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions for attachment number 3? All right. Anything we should be concerned about, Rita?
No, like I said, I do watch the fund, and I'll bring the additional reports in the next finance and facilities.
And then to the board.
Yeah, then to the board.
Okay, and the last one
The
is
final one is
non-lapsing.
the non-lapsing, my recommendation of what we should use the non-lapsing funds for based on the overages in our current budget. And this was another recommendation
we had
with finance, yeah. Another recommendation from the committee was to do actuals. If it's already spent, we can move the actual expenditures, and so that's the final column here. Available balance means that's how much we're over in that line, but yet the non-lapsing fund allocation is what I predict we should put into the non-lapsing fund, if that makes sense. You need it a little bit bigger. So if you see the first one, that is an actual figure of expenses. The second one, we still have a large encumbrance, but I predict we're going to be over 275,000, so, and so on. So that this number is the number that we would actually move. As soon as the funds are available from the town, we would actually move the expenses into that non-lapsing accounts. And I kept it where the big buckets were because creating a lot of non-lapsing accounts is a lot of work. So, and it's in a different function, so
We tried to
the less is the better, you know.
Right.
But do you have any questions on each line? If I can answer them.
I was just wondering, so are we expecting to be 600,000 over at the end of the year? Is that, if we don't do that?
If we don't. Absolutely. I don't think these numbers are going to change the actual numbers that are expensed in that line that are over budget. And I don't believe from, the overages in, or the available balances in this first attachment are, let me s- I mean,
Yeah.
we would have to have, some of these encumbrances would have to be 600,000 off to be able to use, the available balances in the financials that I presented, my first document. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Are we going to be expected to be over more than 600,000, more than like 700,000, say?
I feel like I still need to look at the encumbrances, including utilities, like we
Yeah.
just spoke about, because the oil is not there. The increase in the oil is not in the reports yet. But we are also looking at any areas that may be over encumbered, like a student left, or, and, the purchase order is still active. So we literally have to look at all our purchase orders and determine whether or not, yes, it's, we're still getting invoice for this, or no, we can close it. It's a constant review, and that's why I need to bring the financials to you every month, and we look at them so we know where we stand. And I believe by April, we have to, make decisions of whether or not the available balance is needed for other areas. But I do believe that the 663 is needed for this year.
And that, the 663 is in the non-lapsing fund.
Right, this is the exact balance from last year,
Okay.
because the audit is complete on this portion.
Okay. And we're just waiting for the town to release the money.
Yes,
Okay.
there was additional requests from the auditors to my staff, but it wasn't regarding the general fund, it was regarding accruals for vacation and sick time, and we're still trying to work out that new standard.
It's confused a lot of auditors.
Yes, it's been a long
Yeah.
journey with that GASB, because it's new, and there's just so many parts to it. But it has nothing to do with this. It has to do with the liability that we put on the books in the financial statements that the town produces. So this number is not going to change as far as the carryover.
Yeah, I have one more, but I can wait another turn if someone else has a question.
Ian does. Ian?
Yeah, thank you. So, forgive me for being redundant here, maybe. So this is money that you're looking to draw from the current non-lapsing fund balance and use to offset shortages that are occurring in the ongoing budget right now. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and this would essentially exhaust the non-lapsing fund.
Correct.
Correct.
That is correct, yeah.
And it looks like we're still going to be short.
Not
And
necessarily.
yeah, that was my next follow-up.
Not necessarily.
So
Depending on whether those available balances are real, and whether or not we say in April to slow down spending. I mean, it's a management review that we have to do every month with these financials, in my opinion. So not necessarily be over, additional monies if we watch the budget, watch the encumbrances, and make sure they're accurate as much as possible.
Go ahead, Ian.
Yeah, well, that pretty much answers my question. I guess we're just going to kind of go month to month there and hope that the spending slows down, or we're able to catch it early so that we don't get caught short. Because I mean, the non-lapsing fund is the emergency. Like that is the contingency. That is right. I mean, but we also be doing the transfers every month.
Correct, correct. So we're watching. Right.
Now we can slide something in.
Yeah.
And maybe not have to lean on the non-lapsing.
Right, that's why I said in the next Finance and Facilities meeting, I plan to have the first payroll true-up I try to do a couple a year, that chews up the balances of the payroll accounts. I'm going to start with the teachers because that's the easiest to predict because they're salary. Hourly employees are hard to predict, so, when you look at the financials, we're predicting these encumbrances for payroll, and with hourly people, it is harder than salary, because maybe they won't work those many hours, or, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yep, I got it. Okay, well, thank you for your efforts, and, I think we're still, moving in the right direction here, as far as like how we're managing this stuff, and then how the reports you're getting. So I do appreciate everything you've done this year, and I look forward to, improving upon it as we move forward. Thank you.
Susan wants to say something.
So, we have received 2 of our impact aid for children with disabilities. One has been put into the accounts, and then we're waiting for the other one to be put in.
Yes.
And last year, we got both impact aid for children with disabilities, and we also got the excess cost grant that came. And so all of that together was close to this. That's why we ended up with non-lapsing funds, because at the very end, we received some of these funds. Sometimes that's hard to predict. We get impact aid, sometimes 3 years later. So, but those children with disabilities, anything like that, does come to the district, so.
Yeah, so there is a credit, like you said, of I believe it's $63,000.
The other one is-
That was the second payment that's not in the financials yet as a credit. The first one was in the $50,000 range. That one has been entered, so it's these journal entries that we get throughout the year that we're doing as soon as we can.
Jen and then Mike.
Maybe for financing facility, we can just, if you could just let us know how many open positions we have, because that's a way to minimize costs, like delaying some hiring. So, and that's where most of our expenses come from, like from our financials. So, we could just have that number for our next meeting.
Mike?
Yeah, I was just wondering, in both of your opinions, is it the point now where we should be proactively slowing spending? I know in past years, site budgets have been frozen, and additional, like less overtime where possible. It's not always possible, but like those measures have been taken in the past. Are we at that point right now?
We met with the principals, and they're going to be looking at some supplies that they've encumbered, I think, and we're going to kind of approve those accordingly. But they're limited, and they have not spent a lot of their money.
Now, that's one of the reasons why I'm meeting with them this week and next week, is to prioritize. They have to get in this stuff for graduation. They have to get in certain things that have to get encumbered. So I want to meet with them to prioritize what's being put in for the rest of the year. And we're only talking about 3 months of projection. We're almost at April here. So we're only talking about 1 quarter projecting supplies, but we are talking about, graduation supplies that have to be put in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I was just thinking for some of the others that will be purchased a year, but then also used next year as well, waiting a couple of months to make those purchases if possible. At that point, you'd know more about like excess aid, things like that. So, but I was just asking a question. Should we be putting in spending and actively spending in controls at this point? Question.
Well, just to let you know that my year-end memo will stop the purchase orders from coming in at a certain point because we have to receive those items, right? So we're not going to be putting in purchase orders all the way to June 15th this year, whatever, I don't work it that way because we have to get those 2 goods in. It's too close and it's hard for my staff to wrap it all up.
Like where we have exposure is probably the buses, right? Because the spring sports aren't there, and we don't have a good estimate of the cost. So that's where, like, maybe the athletic director can assist Rita with some.
That's the other thing is we're trying to get in spring sports, stipends, and transportation encumbered, and that's why you're meeting with them, because that has to get encumbered.
And that's like our biggest expenditure.
How much of it hit the snow had on Sam's budget?
I think it was 40,000, was it in
Well, I know we've encumbered the snow plowing, but we haven't received the bills from the town yet, so we're not 100% sure if that's going to cover
Yeah, okay.
until we receive those invoices, yeah. Right, yeah.
That's the kind of thing they could waive if they so chose, to just help neighborly help them out.
I was talking with Sam about in-kind services, you know, in-kind should be both ways. We should be both ways.
Help them mow their lawns.
So, okay. So this is something we eventually have to vote on.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on today. So that's it, if you have any more questions.
Okay, any more questions on the non-lapsing funds?
Just
Go ahead, Mike.
if we're voting on it, my understanding is, okay, so we transfer from non-lapsing funds into these accounts, and if at the end of the year, there's some money left over, we just vote to have it go into the same non-lapsing fund again, right? Like, it's not, you expect we'll need this, but if for some reason we didn't, it would come back into the non-lapsing coffers.
My experience has been that I've had non-lapsing for 3 years at my previous position, and we would spend the current non-lapsing funds, and we would have a balance of the current budget, and we would roll that over to the next year.
Yes, thank you.
If there's funds available. Of course. You know what I'm saying? But typically, we would spend out, and I will start giving you reports, you know, that's Fund 3, we call it, so it's a separate fund. So once everything's transferred and it's expensed, then I will give reports to you showing those expenses. If that makes sense. Thank you, Rita.
Any other questions for Rita? If not, we can move on to the Director of Facilities, which will be Mr. Kirkpatrick.
A couple items to report on tonight, so I'll start with robotics. Tom Bingham, who is our maintenance coordinator, and I are going to be meeting tomorrow morning with our buildings and ground staff in the wood shop so that we can clean out and move items so that we have that space ready for robotics to use for any assembly on the benches that are in there and any woodworking that they need to do for their project. So we'll meet tomorrow morning for that. Second item on my list is Mary Morrison School. We are presently scheduling a meeting with the HVAC testing company that came and did the HVAC testing. There are some adjustments that we need to make on those systems at school. So the contractor, plus Illinois, is making arrangements for us to meet with them. And as soon as I have that date, I'll share it with Susan. Presently, at Mary Morrison, just actually this morning, went out with Mr. Gare and put out the test kits for radon throughout the building. We should have the results. I think we picked them up again on Thursday morning, Friday morning, and they'll go to the testing to the lab, and we should have results on the radon in that building next week. Also, working with Susan and Mr. Burt at the town to determine the process for the removal of obsolete items that are stored in that building. If you've been in the building, you may have seen that there are some classrooms that have a lot of old furniture, some that can be used, and we did have a group go through there last week and the week before, tagged items. My staff removed those items to empty classrooms so that they can use it for the early childhood center, and the rest of the items, I believe, will be tagged as obsolete, and between Mr. Burt and Superintendent Austin, we'll figure out exactly what the next step will be on how we can remove those
Confirm that
items.
if I called it obsolete, it could go.
I remember with Pleasant Valley, there was a day when people could come through and pick out furniture if they wanted. Is that something that would be done? I mean, it's a little different because it's an active building now, Mayor Morrison, and Pleasant Valley wasn't.
Well, if there are things that aren't obsolete, then I'll have to follow, the town charter, and I'll work with John Burt, but we can certainly bring that to his attention if it, gets put up on the,
Yeah, generally,
Did you do it for the Pleasant Valley?
It may have been the town,
We did,
though.
yeah, it could have been the town after we turned it over to them, maybe. I think that was after we turned it over, because we tried to get rid of as much as we could.
if there are any items that are not obsolete that are still there, they would go to the auction through the town, to the purchasing agent from the town. So,
Thanks. Because some of that obsolete, like those, desks might be obsolete in certain ways, but they're probably also indestructible.
you take it back over a skid steer, effect some of that for
Could be somebody's treasure.
Exactly.
So, working on that, and also scheduling the water testing in that building with Groton Utilities. So, they sent me the estimate for that work, and I'm waiting for the supervisor to give me a testing date for that. We go in, the water has to sit for around 12 hours, and then we go in and do the testing first thing the next morning before the staff gets here. So, as soon as I get that date.
All of this work is through the approved grant of the $600,000. So,
Now, you're still talking about Mary Morrison, right?
That's correct.
So, Ernie's in that building. Isn't he using the water?
He's great, nice.
Is the water different than what Ernie's using and what we're testing?
No, we're going to test throughout the building.
Ernie might find out that the water...
The building has been used minimally, I would say, at this point. And a lot of water has been sitting for the last few years while the building was closed. So we've had to run the water a certain length of time over the past couple of weeks. And then on the day that the test comes up, we will run it the night before, but then it has to sit overnight and we'll do the test the first thing in the morning. So that'll be coming up shortly. We have to test 10% of the spaces in the building.
I'm just wondering, because Ernie's in that building, he's using the water. So if his water is no different than the water in the rest of the building, or is it?
No different than the testing we did at Charles Brown and Coach High School, is that we take it, even though they're active buildings, we still need to test the water for so many years.
Okay.
And if you're going to get to this, just tell me you'll get to it. I know last time you had mentioned about the doors and potentially like some classrooms not having doors. Have we scheduled like a second form of egress for the students? Like, have you contacted anyone to give us an estimate?
We met with the fire marshal in the state last week, and they are still come to a final determination as to what we have to do regarding those items.
yeah, they're looking up current codes just to support what needs to happen.
And those doors are the doors in the classrooms that we want to use now?
They exit doors out to the playground.
It's a second egress that way, out of that one room. Fire marshal's interpretation is that there need to be two means of egress out of that room.
So, but really the side, when we took the tour, the side rooms, like where Ernie is, those have doors. It's the rooms in the back, I think, if they want to use it, that don't have doors.
No, they have 6 rooms that do, and then there's 2 additional doors that have egress right outside of their door. Those aren't a problem. But it's some of the ones in between. But the Office of Early Childhood, the Deputy Commissioner, and the woman who's in charge of our grant says that throughout the state, there's no legal reference that you needed to have this store, so she talked with the, it was a very collaborative walkthrough, and she talked to the fire marshal, and they were going to look up the codes just to make sure, and the fire marshal, though, his comment was, this school has good bones. He said, they don't make them like this, so, you know, with the concrete walls, it's really a pretty safe building, and he feels like, you know, we always said this one would come back, you know, to be a school again. So we really had a good walkthrough, and he pointed out some things. We asked some questions to see, so it gave us even more on our list of things that we want to check off and make sure that they're good and safe.
I think, like, maybe next time when you come back, like, to have, like, what does go, so you could be like, hey, water testing, check. Radon, check. You know, fire marshal, check. All set. And then that would just be like something like just a one-pager to say, like, these are all the things, like, safety-wise, right?
Sharon's doing something like that, so you're right. That's exactly what we're trying to.
That would just make it
Good idea.
easy.
I think they have a little checklist. I found this in my, it says preschool physical environment combined checklist from NAEYC and OEC. So
We are using that to go through.
Yeah, so then if that's like all complete, then everything's a go, and then that would just make the cell like killer.
So I think it would make everybody feel ready to go, you know?
Yeah, because that's the thing you want to do is bring whatever.
Yeah, now we have to make sure, we all agreed to that. We all were in sync with that.
Thank you, Beth.
And then solar panels?
And Tim, can I ask you about HVAC? Is that something that, the HVAC testing, did we put the results on our website?
Which testing are you talking about?
HVAC, like when you did HVAC testing for Fitch High School, you did for Fitch High School and Charles Barnum over the winter break. Do we have to post? I think I read something in the journal that you're supposed to be posting that on your website, on the website.
I thought we did Mary Morrison and Charles Barnum. We didn't do Fish. HVAC. No.
Well, I saw it in a note on a board packet that I had that it said HVAC testing, Fitch High School and Charles Barnum testing will be done over Christmas break.
I think it was too expensive that we went and just, and because Mary Morrison was becoming back, we thought that was a priority with the oldest building.
That's okay. But do we have to post that on the website? That's my question.
Yes.
Do we do it?
Yes, we will.
Okay. Thank you.
Third item are the solar panels at Fitch High School, the project for solar panels at Fitch High School. We're working with the Connecticut Green Bank. Kenny Shelton is the lead person with the Green Bank. So they had the RFP went out, and they had the question and answer period for that last week. And the original date for completion was the 23rd. However, they've extended that to the 27th because they had so many questions asked of them. So they've extended that to the 27th. In the meantime, that should be closing fairly soon. We'll have results as soon as possible. And then they're requesting to make their presentation to the board at our April 20th Board of Education meeting. So
Good job, Sam.
That's a Cal meeting, right? I hope that's a Cal. So April 20th. Amy, you have a question?
Yes, thank you. I was just trying to circle back to the robotics situation. It said you would have a meeting with the leadership there, the coaches from George.
I do. I have a meeting with them this week, Ian.
Okay, and is this where you're going to, do you have the site plans made up to them?
Review that with them and get their input.
Okay.
Yep.
And I have a thought about, I don't know, I haven't walked the space in a while, and I'm very curious to see what you do. but, as you know, I got concerned about the shelter-based approach. Whereas when they're looking at the wood shop, is there a way that you can manufacture it with fit and water, and there are a lot of things in the website?
You know what I'm going to suggest? That at the next meeting on March 30th, that we will meet at Fitch High School, and that's where we will all, if you come in person, we will take a tour of the oil shop, the old oil shop, the wood shop, and then everybody can have eyes on the facility. So on March 30th, our meeting will be at Fitch High School, and we might be here.
All right, perfect. That sounds great. And we'll have like a draft of the plans and vote, and we kind of approach it and work around.
Yeah, we sure will.
Okay, great. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Okay. I think that will bring everybody, instead of us looking at blueprints, we'll be able to see the site, with our own eyes. So if you could come in person, that would be great. If not, you just miss out. So,
I'll make that ready, because I'll be sure to be here in person.
okay, I appreciate it.
And the last item that I'm going to report on tonight is that Ms. Nelson and I were part of a selection committee today at the town hall, the across from the high school, to discuss, to interview the parties interested in the Fitch High School stadium renovation. So we interviewed them today, and somebody was selected. I'm not ready to discuss that. I think that will come from the town manager or the public works department, but that was done today. So somebody was selected today. We'll hear about that soon.
Okay, good. So moving forward, yeah. And Mike will know because him and Mitch are on the athletic task force committee, so he'll keep us updated on that too.
Well, I was just going to ask, what's the tentative schedule for that field, for that work to start?
It hasn't been determined yet, but it would. I'm trying to remember what the selected party had first step, but I believe that it would require us to schedule athletic events away for next football season, I believe, starting then. So some things could get started in the summer. And then the football season probably will not be there. We'd have to have alternative means of...
Might have to call our friends at Groton. Or you should start playing that now. I mean, I work that up. Most of them.
Mr. Romano was on the selection committee with us today too, and he took note of that.
Okay. Well, I'll go visit the principal. He was one of my teachers at LHS. I have him on the list to come to the board meeting in June, so that's one of the things he can report on. Probably his plans for alternative sites.
That's it.
That's it. Ian, you have a question?
Yeah, I think quick follow-up to the selection on the contract implementation on the field. So what's our role in that? As far as, I don't know if the county and then what's the board's role in that process?
The board's role or our role from the administration?
Which I say again?
Are you talking about the Board of Ed's role or the administration's role in the process?
I guess, yeah, I'm trying to kind of understand what the process is, what's the chain of events, right? And what's, so where the admin come in, where does the town manager / town council come in, where does the board come in? Are we all going to have some kind of say in the overall procedure? Or what the situation?
It was really all staff. It was the town manager, and it was me, and then it was people on the town side, and then certainly Sam and Mark Romano.
The project
No, after this, again, I can call John Burt tomorrow and find out what happens next.
think it's great just for everyone to understand that you kind of see the sequence of like a
The project will run by the Public Works Department, and we will be on the committee to work alongside them.
To be honest, I think the board and us here, us 9 people, will have minimal impact on what's going on. And I thank God we have Mike and Mitch on the athletic task force, that they can speak up for the board when they're at the athletic task force meeting. But I think as far as the board itself having any impact, I think it's a town project and not a Board of Ed project.
Well, this is tying into a larger concern of mine, and I've heard it voiced from a couple members of the town council too over the past many years, is that, we have shared usage, and so we have shared responsibility. And while we're doing this massive effort to kind of get up to a modern code and a modern speed with all the facilities, moving forward, we do have a responsibility to maintain, repair, and replace, so it doesn't get as bad as it has been.
Yeah.
It's our facility in the sense that, the primary amount of activities that happen there are under the purview of the school district, and therefore the Board of Ed. So, I would like to think that we have some official capacity here to make sure that, the project is moving along as it should be.
Yeah, and that's why we have Mike and Mitch on the athletic task force. So they will be our go-to person. So if you ever have any concerns, just contact Mike and Mitch and let them know, and they can bring it forward when they go to the athletic task force meetings.
Right, but the positions in the athletic task force are not voting positions, those are not liaison positions. So there's no voting power there, and there's no voting power from the board.
Well, I'm sure they'll take what Mike and Mitch has to say to heart.
Actually, my guess is we'll find out the Athletic Fields Commission doesn't have that much say in how it's actually being built either, right? Like, there's more visioning and strategic planning for the next stage. But,
that's it. Yeah, because they passed something.
Well, if it's like the way our schools were built, there's a committee that oversees the building.
Yeah, like the permanent school.
Building committee.
All right, we'll check with John Burke. We'll check with John Burke, and we'll get back to the board for that. Okay. But don't hold your breath on that one out. That we're going to be that involved.
but we can have like a
No, that's not appropriate, first off. Second, I don't think that's fair to the board or the school district.
I'm not saying it's fair. I'm just saying, I don't think we're going to have a big impact on that project. So that's all
I
I'm
guess that
saying.
probably is going to have a big impact on us.
Right.
So I think we need to find a seat at the table. Official capacity.
Yeah. But we got Mike and Mitch on there, so they can
It's
speak up.
not formal. It's not a formal position. It's not a formal authority. It's not a formal part of the process.
Look, I don't know what to tell you.
So, I'll follow the video. I'm not concerned.
Okay. We'll find out, though, from John Burke, okay?
Thanks.
Right, next is, Sam, you all set?
Yes.
Next is committee reports. I'll start with policy.
Thank you. So policy committee, most of what we read about this month on the agenda tonight, so I won't talk about those. But in addition to that, we as a committee set our goals for the roughly the next year going forward, and just briefly bullet pointing them. We're continuing to respond to modified policies in light of the operational review. And then another goal is to keep up to date with new mandates and necessary revisions to policies. And then we're also systematically going through the policy book. We've already got all through a whole section, the 0000, which is the shortest section. So, and we're not even totally through that actually, but it felt good for a moment. And what doesn't show up on this agenda tonight is where we started looking at the referrals about public complaints and that's ongoing work that we're doing.
Next is curriculum. Mitch, are you on, Mitch? No. Anne Marie, you want to talk?
He's muted. Mitch, did you want to speak?
Go ahead, Anne Marie.
We met in early March. Now. We met in early March. The bulk of our work was reviewing 2 new course proposals that were going forward. Those were approved for teachers to kind of move forward the next stage of our process. And then we also looked at 1 new course, which was categorized under the umbrella of a significant course reduction. That course will be reviewed today by the full board.
Okay. All right, next is finance and facilities. Jen?
Finance and facilities met twice this month, first on March 3rd and then on the 18th, March 3rd. We set our goals as well. The 2 main ones, one for finance is transparency, and and then for facilities it was safety. In the next meeting I'll have a PowerPoint for that just to document our goals. Then on the 18th, we basically met to review all of the financials that the Director of Finance discussed earlier in the meeting. If you look at our agenda, the last item is like an attachment of future topics so that you can sort of see the cadence of where we're heading. And I think it's out like 4 months at a time. And then obviously nothing is set in stone, so we can adapt and modify depending on schedule.
Any questions for Jim? Mitch is having trouble with his computer. Okay. Jay, communications?
Yes, communications met on March 3rd. The focus was the topic of community engagement, especially with regard to the budget process. We discussed a lot of good ideas about what we can do in that area. If you get a chance to look at those minutes, you'll see what we came up with.
Okay. Thank you, Jay. Any questions for Jay? Okay. Next is other. Go ahead.
Comment, not necessarily a question. I'm part of the communications committee as well. Wanted to give a shout out to Rebecca. She had made like a couple of suggestions, along the way. And then on the execution side, administration took that plan and has been diligently meeting with like the unions and administration. So hopefully, we'll have a good positive outcome at the end.
And she's been boots on the ground helping me get to some of the meetings, and we've been tag teaming and, and getting parent square messages out as well. So she's really done a nice job with this.
Yeah, even on her way, she was going away, and she zoomed into Mystic River Mystic River Magnet School PTO meeting. So she's done a great job with that. Next on the other, Mike, you went to RTM, Board of Ed.
Yeah, and then town council and city council liaison meeting. We met with a discussion on, actually we talked about Mary Morrison, we talked about the athletic fields as well, and the main topic was about the HVAC, the expected costs going forward for the different schools. Our next meeting, I think it's like June 11th. I can look that up exactly, maybe, but and the topics again will be updates on the early childhood center at Mary Morrison, more about athletic fields, and more about the HVAC. And I think we're just going to have a general discussion about how we can help each other across the different elected bodies in town.
Okay. Thank you, Mike. Any questions for Mike? No?
Yes, I do have one.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, moving forward, actually, that liaison committee could be a great opportunity to bring up the topic of the idea of a shared usage agreement between the town and the Board of Ed, as far as like all the fields and everything. Again, I know over the years, a couple of counselors have mentioned this idea, so I know there's some interest on that side, and I think it'd be good to get something discussed and possibly drafted over the next few years so that we can kind of formalize the arrangements. And, because I'm thinking, once we get the athletic fields back to the square, we're going to have to maintain them. And it's a shared usage, with a shared value. It's a shared investment, so we should have a shared responsibility. And it would be good to have something formalized that can exist beyond whoever maybe on any current spot. Should be something that, the town can trust in moving forward from the tax rate. Thank you.
Thanks, Ian. And I think actually it's a good topic for how we can help each other. And I mentioned Mary Morrison, but the other topic was about Mary Morrison was the memorandum of understanding about the MOU about using the field, and the different bodies in the town are very happy about that. So that's an example of working together and with a clear stipulated MOU.
Yes. Okay, the next is Learn, and I attended the Learn meeting on March 12th. Superintendent Marianne O'Donnell presented to the board on the strategic plan and key district initiatives of the Clinton School District. Clinton Public Schools has spent the last decade intentionally shaping a strategic plan and instructional framework that balances rigorous academics, personal growth, and community engagement. The district is ensuring that every decision from budget allocations to classroom instructions aligns with the broader mission of preparing students to thrive academically and personally. Actually, the mission statement is to empower learners to embrace and influence the future with courage and compassion. That's their mission statement. This approach has emphasized the central role of teachers as the district's most important asset. And I truly believe when they did a survey that parents think that the teachers are the most important asset to the school district. They value cognitive engagement over compliance. They want their students to be engaged and be thinking all the time. So that's their motto. That's the thinking is the focus for all students. What else? And I lost my track here. Compliance and importance of cultivating leadership skills and opportunities across every grade level. Clinton Public Schools has Project Adventure. This is in elementary schools where they want the kids to be more curious, and that goes along with being more engaged and not just sitting there doing the work. They offer a comprehensive K-12 Spanish program. French is offered in middle school and onward. Programs in advanced manufacturing. They did away with their auto shop, and they're concentrating on advanced manufacturing, culinary arts, cybersecurity, robotics. And so the key takeaways at that meeting is the teachers are a core asset, focused on thinking, making sure programming adapts to student needs, workforce trends and community priorities, and sustained collaboration throughout the district, meaning professional development and all that other stuff. So they're doing a lot in Clinton. That's all I have for Learn. Let me see. I took notes, but then I tried to write it to make more sense. Okay, that's it.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can, Mitch.
Okay, I apologize for interrupting.
No, that's okay.
Thank you, Anne Marie, for reading that before. I had an issue here. for reading the curriculum committee minutes. But I'm on and I now can talk. Thank you.
Okay. Do you want to say anything about curriculum, Mitch?
No, I think it was covered.
Okay.
So thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Next is athletic fields. I think they canceled the meeting in March, right?
Yeah.
So the next meeting is the third Thursday? I think that's the next meeting.
I don't look that far ahead.
I think it's the third Thursday every month. Whenever that's going.
It's too hard, isn't it? Keep it all straight.
And we don't have anybody doing trails. All right, so next item, consent agenda. Do you have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move we approve the consent agenda.
Okay, do I have a second? Jen. Any questions on the consent agenda? The consent agenda is approval of the special meeting minutes of February the 18th, February the 19th, February the 23rd, acceptance of gifts. Quinnipiac University donated an automated external defibrillator to Mystic River Magnet School in memory of Kerry Nystrom. Do we send them a thank you card?
Yes, we will.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, any comments, questions?
Yeah, I've got a few corrections on the minutes.
Okay.
So if you go to the February 18th minutes, which is attachment 5, down at the bottom of the page, the second to last thing says Adrian Johnson, Ms. Schimbrat was in agreement to change function 2540 from 45,000 to 55,000. I think that should read just to reduce function 2540 by 45,000. So I don't think because that's, I believe that's the IT line, correct? 2540. And then the next item, the next two items are the same item, just stated twice differently. So the bottom line on page 1 and then the top line on the next page, those were both the same topic, so I think we could just eliminate one of them.
Yeah, which one?
The bottom one is the redundant one. I think the next one has more information in it.
Okay.
So I would say
So get rid of this one at the end?
bottom line,
Okay.
or just eliminate the bottom
Yep.
line. And then down the 4 line, it says teacher request wish list. That wasn't teacher request. I think that should say building administrator request, and I don't think that there's a need to say wish list because I think that was just a word that certain people were using, but it wasn't actually an official title for that list. So I think it should just say administrative or building administrative requests or something like that.
And I don't know what this is, the Fitch High School, Groton Middle School, military science, yes and no.
I think these were the items on that admin request sheet.
I don't,
That first one is that the teacher already existed. So
oh, right, we didn't have to, it wasn't an
Forward.
addition, yeah. Okay,
Yeah, so
it's
that,
confusing though.
yeah, so if we can just change the title on that to something that's
Yeah.
a little bit more accurate. And then in attachment 6, if we go to the third line up from the bottom, so it says we voted on the main motion as amended, and then it says, again, it's like somebody had the, it's like somebody hit ace or something. It says Adrian Johnson noted paying for testing fees.
Oh, yeah.
So that just shouldn't be there.
No,
That was
that's-
from the meeting
right.
before. So it was proposed.
Nothing else though on this one,
That-
Adrian?
Yeah, I'm, not that it, no. I mean, there's a lot more that happened in those meetings, but I think as far as the accuracy goes, I don't think I had any corrections on the next one. I didn't. So those are my recommended or proposed corrections.
Okay. Ian?
Thank you. not sure. Actually, I probably should have asked this question back during facilities report, because I thought we were going to hear from Ernie tonight. But I just had a question about the current food balance, or the unpaid lunch balance. Is that?
Right now, we're doing minutes, so,
Yeah.
okay?
All right. Well, yeah, I don't have anything on that.
Ian, I just had my mic muted when I said all of that for like
Could you
a minute
hear?
and a half. Could you hear what I said? Is that going to come out in the recording about modifications to the minutes?
Yes, I heard all that.
All right,
I heard
good.
everything you said.
I wrote it down too. I think I
I just
captured
want to
it.
make sure for the record. People weren't all voting on something that was totally quiet.
Okay, all those in favor of approving the consent calendar as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, online, Ian's for it, Andrew's for it, and Jay, are you voting yes or no? Yes. Mitch?
I'm voting no. I'm abstaining.
Okay.
I agree with the rest of this description.
Okay, so 7, 0, 1 abstention, Mitch. Okay. I'm a sloppy one. All right, so consent calendar is approved. Next is old business, discussion and possible action regarding second reading of policy P5113.13, work study student employment / credit for work experience, attachment number 8. Mike, you want to read the motion?
Yes, I move to approve policy P5113.13, work study student employment / credit for work experience as a second reading.
Do I have a second? Jen? Okay, Mike, you want to explain?
Yeah, I'll just say this is a second reading. Upon the first reading, there were no recommended changes, and therefore it didn't even go back to the policy committee. It's coming back as it was last meeting. So I don't know if we need to put that up on the screen in this case, because it's as it was last time.
No changes.
No changes.
Okay, any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor of approving policy P5113.13, work study student employment / credit for work experience as a second reading, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so Jay's approving, Mitch, Andrea, Ian. So that passes 8 to 0. Okay, next is discussion of possible action regarding second reading of policy P3323, purchasing guidelines. You want to read that motion, Mike?
Yes, I move to approve policy P3323, purchasing guidelines, as a second reading.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Jay? Okay, Mike, you want to?
Yes, this is second reading. Also, upon the first reading, there were no suggestions for changes, so it's coming back in the same form. I'll just say this is a very long policy. It's got the kind of detail that the operations and operational review are looking for, and this is thanks to the hard work of Rita and all of the staff and administration to put this together.
Rita, you have any comments that you want to make on this policy?
She's ready for it.
No, Rita. Go ahead.
Sorry, I had my hand raised.
No, I don't have any comments.
No comments?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm excited for it to be passed.
Okay, Ian, your turn.
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to say I appreciate the work that Rita and the policy committee put into this. I also just want to note that I appreciate the fact that this is being put in as a P document, a policy document, therefore it has, board input and board authority behind it. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, all those in favor to approve policy P3323, purchasing guidelines as a second reading. If you're online, raise your hand. If you're in person, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, so that passes 8-0. Thank you all. New business.
Is there a way that we could use, like, the number 7 up so that Rita can read? Like, it's the finance.
I'm going to move number 7, and I'm going to move Anne Marie up too.
I think I just gave it on
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I thought I'd help you. Sorry, we did.
I'm going to move Anne Marie up, if you don't mind. Anne Marie is work study, the IB.
Oh, the other one, it's absolutely fine. Do you need to be here for the non-resident one, too? Maybe not? Okay. Yeah,
So Anne Marie?
yeah, good.
Okay, so I'm going to move Anne Marie up to, right now, hers is number 8 and number 12, if that's okay with the board.
2, 8, and 12?
8 and 12,
Oh, okay.
okay?
Oh, yeah.
Is that okay with the board? Okay. So, that is discussion and possible action regarding approval of the IB Personal and Professional Skills Curriculum, and that's attachment number 12. And the motion is, I'll read the motion, to approve, that, and that's attachment number 12. Okay? It's item number 8 under new business, but attachment number 12. To approve the IB Personal and Professional Skills, parenthesis SY 2026-2027, close parenthesis, curriculum. Do I have a second?
Mitch, yes.
Mitch, okay. All right, Anne Marie?
So thank you, Chair. I want to talk a little bit about this course. This course was brought forward by 2 of our teachers in the English department, although it's one of our IB courses. It's considered a new course, even though it's a course that's being offered currently, because it was a significant curriculum revision that was brought forward by or required by the IB World Organization. Basically, the IB World Organization, wanted a modification of the course. So they did bring it forward in accordance with our process, saying that, this would require a major revision. This course, the Personal and Professional Skills course, is part of the IB Career Program Core, and it's similar to like the Theory of Knowledge course, but for the IB, like that is for the diploma program, but for the career program. Students can earn a UConn ECE or UConn ECE credits for this course. The PPS, that's the Personal and Professional Skills course, will be taught over the course of 3 semesters, allowing students to complete 3 elements of the CP or the Career Program Core. That's the Language and Cultural Studies component, the Community Engagement component, and the Reflective Project. And this course places an emphasis on thinking critically and ethically and communicating effectively. And during the process of writing, the 2 teachers submitted it to me for a review. As they were writing, I looked it over. They let them know that they were on the right track. I gave them some minor feedback. Again, they were doing great. It was just some minor feedback, some real small edits. Then they began working on it and continued working on it afterwards. I had my full eyes on the entire document. It's really, I think, a very comprehensive course. Really impressed with what the students are going to do during this course. It went to the curriculum committee. The members that did look at this course were really impressed with it as well. And it passed through that committee with the recommendation to come to the full board for approval.
Mitch, do you want to add anything? Okay. Ian, you have a question?
More just a secondary comment, as Dr. Mancini noted, this class is just a revamp of the current class, so it's not an additional IB course, it's an upgrade and replacement of the current IB course. Am I correct in that understanding?
That is correct.
Okay, very well, thank you.
Any other questions for Anne Marie? Adrian?
Yeah, I'm wondering about class size. Is there a minimum number of students that would be required to run this class? And then is there a maximum number that would be allowed in a course?
I think it's going to depend. Obviously, we encourage our administrators at the high school to use their best judgment on that. I don't know off the top of my head what the minimum and the maximum number is, when running the class. I do know that this course is required if we have students in the career program, that they have to have this course, just like they have to have theory of knowledge in order to get the IB diploma. They have to have this course in order to earn that career program, certificate. So,
And I know our numbers are growing with the career program. We have a lot of our nursing students who are also part of this, and even that program is growing. I think we had 55 who applied for nursing. So we're excited about that the numbers are growing in that.
yeah. So, at this point, I can't talk about, I can't speak with authority about what our enrollment numbers are for next year, but we do encourage them to use good judgment when they're enrolling in a course and whether that course is going to run, for the following year. And as well as, in terms of how many students are, the max number are in the course.
Same thing.
So is it, as my understanding is that IB has a maximum allowable class size for the career, or for the diploma program of 20 students per class. Is this the same?
I think that's a guideline more than a firm, a firm like I guess,
It's more law preferred, maybe.
Yeah.
Max?
Oh, yeah, I didn't understand that. I have, I think that this is a great class and that we should offer it if there's need, but the thing I have concern is that it's 3 semesters, so someone would have to sign up for, 2 years, and we're adding, 2 courses. It's not 2 courses, but it's a 2-year course, so as far as like staff commitment, it's two commitments, at one time. So I would just, I have concern if it were to run with like a very small amount of students,
Sure.
that we could have better allocated that staff time to other things.
Understandable.
Mike?
Oh, yes. I guess, just to be clear, students complete a personal project. This is separate from this course, right?
Yes, that's separate from this course.
And then for the ECE course, that COM 1000, would the students have to take all 3 semesters to satisfy that ECE, or it seems like that'd be kind of long?
I don't believe so, because, typically a course from UConn wouldn't be 3 semesters long.
Yeah.
So, I could look into that and get the definite answer, but I wouldn't expect that whatever is expected in the COM 1000 would be equivalent to a 3-semester course.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. All those in favor of approving the IB Personal and Professional Skills Curriculum? If you're online, raise your hand. If you're here, just say aye. I can see you. Okay. 4 and 4. 1, 2. My eyes are going crazy.
I see what you're saying.
Okay, 4. Okay, so it passes 8-0. Online was Mitch, Adrian, Andrea, Jay, and Ian. They all raised their hand to approve the IB Personal and Professional Skills Curriculum. So pass it 8-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
And now we jump down to action item, new business number 12, and that is, we don't have a handout for that. So, it says discussion and possible action regarding the elimination of class rank at Fitch High School. But are we really eliminating class rank, or we're not publishing class rank?
Publishing.
So I think we should change the title.
Yeah, I think that was worded incorrectly here, and so
Right. So what is your suggestion to word it, Emma?
we are eliminating the publishing
Publishing.
of class rank at Fitch High School.
Eliminating
for the class of 2030 and onward, I think, right? Or maybe that's something else.
No, I think that's something else. It would be starting, I think, effectively, I have to check about when.
I thought it was 2030.
Yeah.
Was it just 2030? Okay.
Yeah.
It's 2030?
For the class of 2030.
And beyond.
Yes. Yes, thank you.
Okay. So you want to read that again to me?
Okay,
Emery?
so to approve the elimination of the publication.
Of the publication?
Publication?
I think so,
Of
right?
publishing.
I don't think of the
No.
publishing, it's
No.
I have a suggestion for that, grammatically.
Well, hold tight. Go ahead, Emery.
It's so crazy in the debating, I have a suggestion.
Okay, hold tight. Let Emery, I called on Emery.
of the publication of class rank at Fitch High School for the class of 2030 and beyond.
Okay, of the publication. Okay, go ahead, Ian.
We're going to say one way to phrase it that might be cleaner, syntax-wise, would be to approve eliminating the publication of class rank at Fish High School.
To approve the elimination of...
To approve eliminating the publication of. So eliminate that
Oh, okay.
amount of ofs.
Right.
Okay, to approve say it again.
Eliminating.
To approve the
Eliminating
to approve
the publication of class rank at Fitch High School.
Okay, for the starting of class 2030.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works too.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
Second? Okay.
And Chair, if I may, I just want to point out, I know that one of the board members, I believe it was Mr. Johnson, asked last week when we discussed this, or maybe it was the week before, about top colleges and whether or not they are requiring class rank. And so I put together a handout that was sent to all of you earlier today. It is the top 20 colleges as identified by several publications, U.S. News and World Report, Forbes Magazine, and the Princeton Review. All 20 that were identified in these publications, none of the 20 actually require class rank as a part of the admissions process. So I just kind of put that together in response to that question.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for doing that.
Mitch?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes?
Okay. If I remember correctly, I thought there was also some discussion at the meeting about the termination of the valedictorian and the salutatorian, that was brought up too. I don't remember exactly how that was going to be addressed. Henry, do you recall any more on that?
Yeah, from what I remember that Mr. Brown spoke about is that those, the valedictorian and the salutatorian would be identified, because we understand that for the purposes of like specific scholarships. I know UConn, for example, those individual students earn a top-level scholarship at the University of Connecticut. Those individuals would be identified. And I don't know, Superintendent, is there anything else regarding that?
No, I remember it just that way.
Okay.
That was the only two that they would recognize.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Adrian?
Oh,
And then Mike.
I was just going to comment on what Anne Marie had stated about those top colleges, and more than that they just don't require it, is that it seems like it's minimally impactful in some colleges and really doesn't have much of an impact. So I appreciate putting that together, because that was a concern, and that pretty much alleviated the concern for me.
Right?
I was just suggesting a further amendment to the motion to capture like the valedictorian, salutatorian part. And I'm getting this straight from the handout we had. And so I'll just read what the handout says first, because it's pretty short. Starting with the class of 2030, Fitch High School proposes to no longer publish class rank at the end of each semester. After the 7th semester of high school, the school counseling department and administration will announce the valedictorian and salutatorian for the graduating class. So I think maybe for history's sake, probably want that in the
That's
this minutes bit.
comprehensive.
And so a slightly shorter version of this could be, instead of...
Go slower for me.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So we say to approve the elimination of cost center, which is kind of funny, right? but we could just move that starting with the class of 2030, Fitch High School no longer publishes class rank at the end of each semester, period. After the 7th semester of high school, the valedictorian and salutatorian for the graduating class will be announced. To get both parts in there. I think that second part's important because, well, if anyone's listening, they're going to want to know about that second part too.
And certainly if there are benefits to that.
Yeah, and calling it out because it is rank of 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So, because we're not assigning valedictorian on other, salutatorian on other things besides rank.
Yes, John?
I don't know if it's an amendment or just an addition, but what Mike just said, could he or you send it to me?
Okay, I didn't even write it down because it was too fast for my little hand. So I'm going to have Mike read it again to me. Isn't there a way, Mike, we could add it on to what Ian and Anne Marie just gave us?
Yeah, hit me with that.
Okay, it says to approve eliminating the publication of class rank starting with class of 2030.
I guess you could say, I guess you could just put a period there and say the valedictorian and salutatorian will be announced after the 7th semester, for the graduating class, will be announced after the 7th semester of high school. That'd be good.
Will be announced after the 7th semester?
Yeah, of high school. So the valedictorian and salutatorian for the graduating class will be announced after the 7th semester of high school.
Okay, now you add it for the graduating class.
Yeah.
Okay, I got that. Okay, do I have a second for Mike's amendment?
Second.
Second, Adrian? Okay, so that's Mike and Adrian. All right, any discussion? Mitch? Can I?
Yes. I'm looking for clarification on how, and I don't know if we need to address it here or not, but how the salutatorian and valedictorian would be announced, if those people would be told separately in advance of the school publication of that, and when it would happen. And I think the very beginning of this, which says that starting with the class of 2030, we would not publish this, you need to say maybe with the exception of valedictorian and salutatorian, and then the second sentence would be how we would handle the valedictorian and the salutatorian.
I can answer the question of how they're announced because I had the privilege of being at one valedictorian's announcement in the principal's office, and it was really pretty special and very intimate. So I think they're handled one at a time with the student and the faculty or with the administration, and I just happened to be there and was happy to, congratulate him myself.
That's nice. Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other discussion? Mike, you had your hand up?
Yeah, I'll definitely vote for this. Important steps forward. I'd also like us in the future to take a further step forward and adopt a model similar to what Ledyard High School has and has had for decades, where it's they have their Ledyard Scholars, we call it probably Fitch Scholars, and that it has kind of a bigger umbrella there. We sort of already do this by the students that are getting academic achievement medallions, really. but it further de-emphasizes that 1-2 punch of the hardly earned valedictorian, salutatorian, but of the others that are like 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, they're all, you can keep going right online, they're all academically exceptional students, certainly worthy of honoring at the highest level.
And I think we do that through National Honor Society, in a sense, you know, and the cords and the recognition that we give kids.
True, but so for me personally, I'd like to take us, ease that competitiveness among the top ranks, because they're academic colleagues in every way. And,
that's true.
Collegiality and competition can go together, but it's a tug and pull.
Okay, I'm going to read the motion again. Do we vote on the amendment? No, because it didn't. Okay, let's take a vote on the amendment. If we did it, fine. We do it again. To approve eliminating the publication of class rank, starting with the class of 2030, period. The valedictorian and the salutatorian will be announced. No, the valedictorian and salutatorian for graduating class will be announced after the 7th semester of high school. All those in favor, say aye. Of the amendment, right?
Aye.
Okay. Opposed? All right, so the amendment carries. And now we got to vote on the motion, which was, I just read the motion, actually. All those in favor of the motion, I'm not going to read it again. Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. So 8-0. Wait. All right. I think you're all done, Anne Marie.
Thank you, Anne Marie.
Now I'm going to shift. I hope the board doesn't mind. Let's shift over to Rita, so Rita can go home also.
We've got Rita in 2 parts in the policy.
Yes, I'm going to shift over both. Okay. I'm going to put her back to back. Okay. So Rita's policy is discussion and possible action regarding a first reading of policy P3160, line item transfers. That's attachment 11. Okay. Mike, you want to make a motion?
Yeah, I move to approve policy P3160, line item transfers as a first reading.
Did I get a second? Jen? Okay. Discussion. Go ahead, Mike.
I'll just say briefly, this was had been revised last year in April, and this is a new, more detailed version with the main categories that the state requires, and then some other additions that I'll let Rita talk about.
Yeah, so the main categories is what the state requires our transfers or our true-ups to be categorized for the financials. So this is basically the categories that we should be abiding by for the state.
And since this is the first reading, can we get that put up on the screen, or is that?
Caitlin, can you put attachment
11?
11?
Okay, I'll grab that. Give me 1 second.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
It's a pretty short policy, but yet important to align with what we should be, how we should be doing the budget transfers on a monthly basis, and sending reports to the board and the town. But that's basically it. I don't know if you have any questions. I know there's some legalese in here that isn't grammatically correct, but I feel like that has to stay that way to be accurate. That's-
Yeah, and the second page covers the section that we had in the prior policy about emergency transfers. And in addition, here is a cap on it. It's the third line down. It says, well, it starts second line down. Well, we'll read the whole sentence. The superintendent is authorized to make such transfers as necessary if the urgent need for transfer prevents the board from meeting in a timely fashion to consider the transfer, provided that such transfers by the superintendent shall not exceed 2% of the annual budget. So I don't think we'd had a cap in there before.
Ian?
Yeah, I just want to thank the policy committee and the finance director for bringing this forward. And the finding, the original version is a further extension of the thinking that was coming out of the ad hoc budget procedure committee the other year. And I like the language, understand that we have to maintain consistency with the state, so this cleans up a lot of the confusion that existed prior to. And I do appreciate that 2% cap that really just identified. I'm in favor of this, and again, I also appreciate it being a key document, therefore policy backed by the authority of the board. Thank you.
Mike, wasn't the cap 5% and you reduced it to 2%?
Yeah, I think that was maybe from either CABE or the other.
It was the model policy,
Yeah.
said 5, but
Yeah.
it's up to the board to
Yeah.
decide.
Okay, anything else? All right, all those in favor of approving policy P3160, line item transfers as a first reading, say aye. Raise your hand if you're online.
Right.
Okay, so that passes 8-0. Thank you. Next, we're going to flip over to number 7. Discussion and possible action regarding the appropriation of non-lapsing funds in the amount of $663,517.87. Jen, you want to make a motion?
I make the motion to approve appropriation of non-lapsing funds in the amount of $663,517.87.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Second, Mike? Okay. Go ahead, Mike.
Can we just make an amendment to refer to that attachment? I can't find out which attachment it is, but I'll be attached.
That's the number 4. It's number 4.
Okay. Oh. So we're going to add attachment number 4 on that.
Yeah, so I guess the phrase would be in accordance with attachment number 4 in this meeting packet.
Second, Thomas.
Okay. Mike. And Ian. All right, so, amendment. So the amendment motion will be to approve the appropriation of non-lapsing funds in the amount of $663,517.87 in accordance with attachment number 4 in the Board of Ed, you want me to say Board of Ed packet of March 23rd? Okay. All those in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstentions? Okay. The amendment passes. Rita, do you want to say anything about it? No?
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, we didn't approve it yet. We just voted on the amendment.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Any discussion on the non-lapsing fund, attachment number 4? Go ahead, Mike.
Just quickly, thank you to Ian and Portia for helping us get non-lapsing funds.
Yes.
That's right.
Agree with that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All those in favor of to approve the appropriation of non-lapsing funds in the amount of $660,517.87 in accordance with attachment 4 in the Board of Ed packet dated March 23rd, 2026. Say aye.
Aye.
Okay, that passes 8-0. Thank you, Rita.
Thank you, Rita. Safe travels.
Since we've been shuffling board items around, action items around, can we handle maybe 9, 10, 11, and 1 before?
I'm gonna go with Ernie next, Ian. I'm gonna do the healthy food because it's state statute.
Oh, sorry, that's right.
Okay.
My mistake. No, it's
Yeah.
already-
He's been waiting all night.
It's state statute, and it shouldn't be a big discussion. Ernie, you wanna come over to the table? Yeah. So I'm gonna go to item new business number 3.
And his assistant.
Would I introduce your assistant to us, Ernie?
Yeah.
Okay.
If we did number 1, I could leave.
Good. You want us to read that? You want to introduce you?
Yes, good evening, everybody. I'm Ernie Kashmir, the Food Service Director, and this is Justine Garassi, my Assistant Director for Food Services.
Okay, nice to meet you.
It's our first Board of Ed meeting.
Okay. I hope you're having fun. The right thing to say. All right, so this is discussion and possible action regarding the participation in the healthy food option of HFC. And because I don't want to read all that, so I'm going to ask Mike if he'll read it.
Oh, sure. I've read many, but I'm happy to. I move pursuant to CGS Section 10-215F, the Groton Board of Education certifies that all food items offered for sale to students in the schools under its jurisdiction and not exempted from the Connecticut Nutrition Standards published by the Connecticut State Department of Education will comply with the Connecticut Nutrition Standards during the period of July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2027. This certification shall include all food offered for sale to students separately from reimbursable meals at all times and from all sources, including but not limited to school stores, vending machines, school cafeterias, culinary programs, and any fundraising activities on school premises sponsored by the school or non-school organizations and groups.
Do I have a second? Jen? Okay. Ernie, do you want to say anything about this?
I just wanted to say that for the new members, this is an annual thing that we have to do every year, and there's three votes, actually, 3 parts to this that you guys will be voting for. But this is just to keep the, because we participate in the healthy food certification, all the foods that we serve in the cafeteria meet the Connecticut strict standards for beverages, for snacks, and the products that we use. So this is, again, something that we do every year. It's a formality.
Right.
But it's legal language, and it can't be changed.
You can't change the
That's
language.
correct.
Yeah. Ian?
Well, that was definitely the website, so I have nothing to add.
Okay, yeah, you cannot change the language.
Yeah.
Okay. All those in favor? Go ahead, Mike.
I just say this part's a formality, but it's quite a bit of work and attention to detail to make sure that you deliver the healthy foods to the students every day. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you, Ernie.
Thank you, Justine. That's part of her section, so.
Thank you. Thank you, Justine. Okay, all those in favor of approving the motion as read, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, Jay, Mitch, Andrea, and Ian have their hands up, and the 4 of us in person do, so that passes 8-0. Thank you. The next is the discussion of possible action regarding food and beverage exemptions. Adrian, do you want to read that?
Sure. I'd like to make a motion that the Groton Board of Education will allow the sale to students of food items that do not meet the Connecticut nutrition standards and beverages not listed in Section 10-221Q of the Connecticut General Statutes, provided that the following conditions are met. 1. The sale is not in connection with an event occurring after the end of the regular school day or on the weekend. 2, the sale is at the location of the event. And 3, the food and beverage items are not sold from a vending machine or school store. An event is an occurrence that involves more than just regularly scheduled practice, meeting, or extracurricular activity. For example, soccer games, school plays, and interscholastic debates are events, but soccer practices, plays, rehearsals, and debate team meetings are not. The regular school day is the period from midnight before to 30 minutes after the end of the official school day. Location means where the event is being held and must be the same place as the food and beverage sales.
Do I have a second? Jen? All right, Ernie, you want to say anything about this one?
So the importance of this second thing that you folks just voted for was it allows exemptions. What that means is for fundraisers, for sporting events on the weekends and stuff, we're allowing the after the normal school day, not during, so it's after the normal school day, that for these fundraisers to take place in our schools, on our property, the sports games and stuff, when they open up their little snack shacks and stuff. So those exemptions are something that you guys want to keep in place to allow these students and departments and stuff to be able to do their fundraising to help support their teams and stuff.
Through the booster clubs.
Through the booster clubs.
And the PTOs.
Any comments or? Okay. All those in favor of approving the motion as read, say aye. If you're online, raise your hand. Okay, 4 people online, say yes. 4 people here, say yes. So that's approved. Thank you. Is there any, you have another one, Ernie?
Is there a third one?
I don't think so.
It might have been, the food and beverage might have been together. There's usually a beverage exemption. Again, it just
It
goes
does
along.
say food and beverage.
So it says, so it's in the first one, so we're covered.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you for hanging out with us. Okay.
That was it? Good.
That's it.
Okay, thank you.
And thank you for selling the sweatshirts and offering a place that we can provide donations for those food balances that we have for them.
Yes, yeah, you know, those little, goes towards the unpaid meal balance at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Mike has a question.
So just, so you said there were maybe 3, the second one talks about food and beverage as exemptions, but maybe there's supposed to be another one about beverages?
You know what?
I thought there was only 2, but I think that the second one does do both, right?
Yeah, that's the exemptions though, so I'm wondering if there's the first one was all about food items.
I mean,
Well, we did the motion. We did the same thing at Learn.
There's only 2.
There was, no, there was only 2. The healthy food certification, which we just did, the food and beverage exemptions, which we just did, and they had a third one, and that was for approval for the executive director to sign the 2026-2027 healthy food certification statement.
Do I sign that?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I do sign that.
Well, we have it on Learn to prove that, you know, she can do it. So that's only things we have. Yeah, that's it, Mike.
Good, I think we're covered.
Ian's hand is raised.
Ian, you have a question?
With cookies.
Yeah, a quick question. There's some mention of the unpaid lunch balances. I just wondering if there's a current total of that amount,
Absolutely.
roughly speaking.
So roughly speaking, exactly, we have, as of 3/19, we got $53,846 of unpaid meal balances, and that is from 3 schools that are full pay, which is Charles Barnum, Fitch High School, Northeast Academy.
Okay, very well, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead.
Is there a way in future years to, because there's that possibility of just having automatic deductions, right? Like automatic payment. is there a way to sort of make that the default that people would have to opt out of? Because for me personally, I had to figure out how to opt into, and I love it.
Yeah.
But maybe if that's the default option, maybe it might help a little for that. It won't help this year.
Yeah.
I was just thinking for next year.
And Justine, just this morning, we just started a new thing called Smart Alert, was sent out today, and it goes out to families that owe. You can set an amount, a range, but we
Well,
charge.
can I just say one thing? I think we're getting off of the topic here.
Okay.
That's not on the agenda.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I don't want to be accused. Maybe you can come to finance and talk to them?
No problem.
Okay?
Yeah.
Do you mind?
No, that'd be
Okay.
great.
What's that
Okay.
date? First Tuesday. in
First
April.
Tuesday.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
I'd like to point of order me.
So I don't do that.
Thank you for hanging out with us tonight.
It was getting I was getting into it too, Ernie, but I thought, Okay, the next item on the new business is discussion of possible action regarding a first reading of policy P5118, non-resident attendance. Mike, you want to make the motion?
Yes, I move to approve policy P5118, non-resident attendance as a first reading.
Do I have a second? Do I have a second, Jen? Okay. Okay, Mike.
Yeah, I've got to actually find it. Since the first reading, I'll beg for time. Can we put that up on the screen? I found it actually myself.
Caitlin, can you put it, attachment number 10 up on the screen?
Sure.
Thank you, Caitlin.
I'll just say overall, these are slight modifications to an existing policy, and the modifications are connected to military families, and it's to get up to date with language we really need to have in there. So there's some grammatical stuff here, but it's the right down toward the end of what's showing. It's item number 1. That's the big change.
Per the Military Child Compact, which is a compact signed by all 50 states, which really grants military children who are transient and moving. The three of us know exactly what that means. And they didn't have that when we were growing up. But it does help in the transition process, and it gives, military children certain rights.
Mike, do you want to read that?
Yeah, I can. So the modified or new item is number 1. Children affected by military transfers may remain in the district until the end of the current school year if the service member relocates on orders and remains in the armed forces. If students are enrolled in grade 11, the student may continue to be enrolled in the district for an additional school year so long as the service member remains in the armed forces. So it gives the student an opportunity to finish out their high school years within the district, regardless of where their family is stationed.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Dr. A?
I just wanted to say that I am going to vote in favor of this. However, there are still little things that are grammatically incorrect. And one of them appears here. You'll see this third sentence. If students are enrolled in grade 11, it should say they, not the student should. So it's little things like that just annoy me that my name would be on this. But because of the content of it, I'm going to go with it. But,
Can we make that modification?
I'm sure we could.
It's a first reading.
Yeah.
It's a first reading.
So we can bring it right into policy, and so you can make all the grammatical modifications you want, and I'm sure we'll approve it there.
Even if you wanted to talk to Erica, Andrea, and kind of get that set up for us so we can just look it over again.
And we appreciate that, by the way.
We do appreciate that.
Okay, Jen?
Okay, thanks for bearing with me.
So usually, like, if it's grade 11 or 12, more than likely, the parent is probably retiring, right? So is that qualification service member remains in the armed forces? And this fleet reserve counts as being in the armed forces.
Fleet Reserve would be in the armed
Okay,
forces,
so
yeah.
when they retire, they usually go into fleet reserve, so then they'll be okay. Those kids
Yeah,
can
yeah.
stay.
Right.
Just making sure that
Yeah.
they're not like unable to stay because their parent, guardian retired.
And-
So that's why I was making sure.
Yeah, and there are other reasons you could be a non-resident student too,
Okay.
and be approved, just in case. It's a good point, though.
Adrian, you have?
Yeah, I've got concerns mostly with the definitions. So if we go with one, resides outside the district, that seems, so these are non-resident, what the definition of a non-resident student is. Obviously, if they reside outside the district, that seems reasonable. But two, resides within the district on a temporary basis. I feel that is way too vague, because what is a temporary basis?
So we do have Lauren Cassini, who's been with us tonight. Lauren, do you have an answer for that question? Did you hear what Adrian had said?
About the temporary basis.
Yes.
So they may be living, they're not necessarily considered a resident of Groton. I'm trying to think of an example of a family that might be considered out here on a temporary basis, on a very short-term basis.
Well, sometimes they're put up in the Navy Lodge when they're waiting for housing, but that to me would be a case where they would be part of this community.
Yeah, yeah.
Could we just, I'm thinking for the next version of this, could we just add the phrase non-resident from a temporary basis? Would that take care of it? I mean, there are several reasons that could cover.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
I think we should
I've
talk.
got concerns with 3, 4, and 3 and 4 as well. But that one I feel is just much too vague. So if a family was in the district in a hotel for a month, should that family be allowed to enroll their student in a school? Say they were coming in from out of state and had nowhere else to enroll their school, they might be defined as a non-resident and then have to get temporary, a temporary waiver from the superintendent, which I think is allowed later, but I don't even think that should be possible. So I mean, I'll just state my concerns with that. So that, I think, temporary needs to be well-defined if we're going to have a temporary thing, and we need to think about all of these different scenarios that could be. Second one, number 3, bigger concern, resides within the district on a permanent basis, but with pay to the persons whom the student is living. This just seems too, this and for it, but so, I'll go back to like in the 90s. My cousin lived with us her senior year of high school, maybe even longer than that. But so she lived in a different part of the state, far away. If her mother, so my aunt, were paying my family for food or something like that, would now all of a sudden she be a non-resident and
That's
be
confusing.
an out-of-district student? So I don't really agree with any of these. And then 4, resides within the district for the sole purpose of obtaining school accommodations. I think that one would just be too open-ended to prove. I mean, so if a parent or caregiver moved to the district because we offered accommodations that they saw beneficial compared to the district that they were in, are we saying that they can't, if they move in for that sole purpose, we're saying that they're not a resident? So this is, I mean, these are probably good questions for Floyd, but I'm not comfortable with 2, 3, or 4 at all. I think they should just be removed. But I'd be willing to hear Floyd's opinion on that.
Lauren, can we do some digging and find out, because they are a little vague and confusing, so. Was that how it was written in the model policy?
Yes, this is, most of this has been policy for quite some time. This is not new. It is part of that model K policy. I can look into it. I do know number 4, when we're talking about resides within the district for the sole purpose of obtaining school accommodations, we frequently have families that may list their child as living with someone that they do not have custody of, as an example, but they claim that they're living within Groton boundaries for the purpose of schools, because they may not, as an example, want them in another district, such as New London. So they put a different address on there, or they move their child to that district, not with the custodial parent, but with someone outside, just for the purpose of using our Groton education system. Does that make sense?
It makes sense to me. That that just puts us on a very gray area of, does the student actually live here or not? I mean, like the case of, that I kind of gave of my own family life. There was no accommodation in that, but maybe the student was an athlete or something like that. Is that all of a sudden wrong? Like for somebody to send them to their aunt's house. I mean, there's different circumstances to my own personal one, but good reasons nonetheless. So I think that like I said, I would rather know what was going to happen with 2, 3, and 4 before I approve this at all.
We're
He's
approving
also
as a first
included that,
reading anyway.
the state law defines residency as well, so this is part of state law as well.
Yeah.
We'll dig a little deeper, though, see if we can't.
It's a first reading, so
Yeah.
it has to come back again. You can hash it out in policy again. Dr. A?
I didn't have any questions about this until I heard Adrian. But I'm looking at the second one, who resides in the district on a temporary basis. And when I was at Cutler, we had several students who were who were actually from London, and they were living in Groton because one of the mothers, I guess one of the fathers, had positions at Pfizer's, but they would be here for a full year. Now, is that not a resident of Groton? I don't know. And does it make a difference?
Good question.
Well, when they enroll, there's all kinds of forms that they have to fill out, and if they, and you can correct me, Lauren, but I know that if they are living with a family member or a friend, that there's an affidavit that has to be signed by the person that they're living with, attesting that the family is living and the child is living in that home, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, can I follow up on, Beverly, can I follow up on that then?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. So then I'm still unclear on my question. It seems to me as though this is directed to people who are living in Groton with nefarious intent, not somebody who's living in Groton because they've been assigned here. Well, perhaps the military has been assigned here, but I'm thoroughly confused on what this means, so maybe, I guess Mike is correct, and we'll just talk about it in policy. Thank you.
You're welcome. Ian?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm not going to reiterate all the points, but I agree with Adrian's concerns. And if there is state language that this is based on, I think it'd be good to see that. So I don't know if there's maybe that's something that could be brought into the policy committee meeting when you review this language for the second read, is to actually bring in the source language and kind of do a compare and contrast to see how close it adheres to that versus any variation, because it does seem rather vague, and it basically puts the onus on the school district to determine intent of a person, which could get really dicey really quick, especially if you start considering disrupted family situations where someone may be living with another family member because the core family is no longer a viable place for them to stay. So there's a lot of things you have to take into consideration here as far as that goes. I think it just puts the school district, the way it's currently phrased, there's a lot of interpretation that could be applied here, and it would put a lot of onus on us spending money on investigators to determine intent, which I don't know if that's a thing we really want to get into. I'd like to see a cleaner way to put this together and then set the parameters.
Okay.
So for that, I'll be voting against the first reading tonight just on principle for that, and looking forward to what work the policy committee can do on this. Thank you.
You're welcome. All very good points, and no further discussion.
I was just going to say one thing. In the policy committee, so I think important that definition of non-resident student encompass the second section, which is the itemized non-resident attendance without tuition, those ones. And like 1 through 4 of them, those are outside, and then 5 and 6 are temporary in some ways. So we might be okay just to reside outside school district, is we have that. There's no contention about that, and then have an appropriate definition for inclusion of what temporary means in the definitions. And then we didn't talk about this, but the longest definition is number 5. Resides in the school district as a child placed by a commissioner Department of Child and Family Services. This one is that wording is very closely, I think, follow the legal references. So 5 would probably stay as is, and it would be the other. The 1 through 4 that would kind of get, or actually the 2, 3, and 4 that would kind of get reworked. That would be my guess.
All right, so this was the first reading. It's going to go back to policy anyway.
Can I just,
Go ahead.
so I can go around really quick? I just wanted to state now, so I don't have to state it during the vote, that I'm not gonna vote for this, because I feel that the whole thing is about non-residents, and too many people get caught up in the definition to affect the policy in general. And I feel that we need to have a better definition before we vote on the first read, because we could end up in a second read arguing and trying to rework the policy, because 3 members agreed on it, but now we've got 9 discussing it. So I would prefer to see this just go to policy with that intent, and come back with for a first read with the definition, so we know what we're voting on for policy in general.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take a vote and see how many people want to approve it as a first read. If it fails, then it goes back as a first read. Okay? So all those in favor of to approve policy PF118, non-resident attendance, as a first reading, if you're online, raise your hand. If you're approving this policy as a first reading, if you're here, just raise your hand. Okay, so it fails, so it goes back to policy as a first read. Mike voted for it. I'm sorry, Joan, I didn't say that. Mike voted for it. And against was Jen, myself, Adrian, Andrea, Ian, I guess Jay, and is Mitch still there? I don't see Mitch anymore. No Mitch. So, Joan, Mike voted to approve it. Against was Jen, myself, Adrian, Andrea, Ian, and Jay. Okay?
Aye.
Okay. So this let me go failed. All right, next on the agenda is, we're going to jump over to new business, item number 5, discussion of possible action regarding approval of an early childhood center at Mary Morrison. Jen, you want to read that?
Motion to approve an early childhood center at Mary Morrison.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Adrian. Okay, Susan.
Well, I think Sam did such a nice job about our walkthrough, and this is really a phased approach. So whatever we're able to do with the construction money, getting it ready, whether it's 6 or 8 or 10 classrooms, we will do the first year and then phase in the second group that will be coming. Because eventually, it would be great to have all preschool, pre-K kids in this school. But it's going to take time. It's going to take the extension of those grants. And I feel like it's just such a good thing. I feel like the sustainability in this program is the fact that we will be bringing kids back into our school community, and we have many, many kids pre-K through 12 who are choosing other magnet schools, inter-district magnets, which is a good thing. But we would like to increase our enrollment. I think that's the best thing we can do, and bring our kids back and have this, really great program here in Groton Public Schools. And it's the Safe Start is a $1.2 million commitment from the Office of Early Childhood to do it.
Adrian?
Yeah, I'm gonna thank Susan for this, because I don't necessarily agree with everything that we talk about in these meetings, but I think that that this program, and if we end up with a fewer classrooms to start it with, that's fine, because this is going to be a fundamental change for Groton's student in kind of what we talked about is building that foundation for our youngest learners to be more successful in elementary school and throughout their entire schooling, hopefully. So I am fully for this, and I appreciate this. And it was a compressed timeline to try to get all of this done. So I appreciate how much work the administration's done to get it, as far as we have. So I hope we approve it, and I hope it becomes I hope it ends up serving all of the children of Groton for those early years. So thank you for this.
Ian?
Thank you. I also appreciate the work that's gone into this, but I also had a lot of concerns as far as the site plans and everything. It was a really compressed timeline for this kind of project, so I'm skeptical. I'm in favor in theory, but concerned about the rollout. So I don't know. I just wanted to kind of put that on the record that I hope we keep moving forward strongly and make all the appropriate investments and plan for sustained usage and
I agree with you, Ian. I think you're absolutely right. That's why I think phasing it in is a good idea, and we'll do all that we can do to make it right. Kind of go slow and grow.
Yeah. All right, so I look forward to progress reports and hopefully keep moving in the right direction.
All right, thank you.
Mike?
Yeah, just one question. So I know we have the funds for the infrastructure improvements, and then there's the operational grant for year one. Where does that stand?
It has been approved, but it hasn't come into our EGMS system yet as funding. We're expecting it closer to the summertime when we're going to need it for hiring.
Right.
So.
Okay.
Any other questions? Jane, do you have anything? No? Anybody online have any questions? No? Okay. So this is actually one of the boards, this is not a goal, but one of our goals is early childhood education. So this fits into one of our goals, how to build the foundation of the school district. So I'm hoping that this goes along without a hitch, that everything that was said is going to be getting done and on a timely fashion, and we can stay within budget. And I'm just hoping everything works out the way we plan it to work out.
Right.
So,
I
and
agree.
keep us updated.
Yep,
you
we
know,
sure will.
Constantly keep us updated every meeting. Tell us what's going on so we know. Sam, when you meet with whoever you said you're going to meet with, let us know. Give us a report back, what's going on. If there's any hitches, let us know right away. Don't wait 2 months and then say, oh, this happened. Let us know right away if anything goes wrong.
Yeah.
Okay?
I think the fire marshal's the key.
Yeah, the fire marshal's the key. So just keep us updated constantly. Okay. Anything else?
Should we amend that motion? Like
The
to
what?
approve Early Childhood Center of Mary Morrison based on approval of whatever, like radon, water.
Those things have to be done, and we do have the funds to make them right after they've been done if they're wrong. And in addition, we got the $197,000 that was appropriated through the state for additional construction, should we need it. So we're really, the way the budget is rolling out, it looks like we're getting all our bases covered. And there were extra hundreds of thousands of dollars in the budget, but I'm sure we'll be using it. And we have approved that part of the budget. So I think our families need to know. They're very excited. We sent out a survey, and there was really a lot of, I'm thrilled about this, from families, that this is one of the best things that could happen. And we also got approval to do the before and after care, too. So through Treehouse.
So if we're only going to have like 5 rooms, right? Let's say like the other rooms in the back aren't going to be used because it's phased. How many kids is that? Are we really going to be extending or adding kids, or is it just the same kids that are getting transferred in from things?
Mystic River. Just Mystic River. The 4-year-olds, just the 4-year-olds at first. And we really think there's more like 6 to 8 classrooms, and, at least. And then there could be 10, like we had originally designed, so.
So potentially we'd be short either 2 or 4.
Right.
2 to 4.
Yeah. Or not at all. We could get the whole, but I think we just have to look at it realistically do the very best we can rolling it out in the beginning.
Is the whole school heated now, or just where Ernie and the Treehouse is?
No, the entire building.
Okay, so there won't be any additional cost for electricity or heating? Electricity will be additional cost, but no heating.
Well, temperature, we may have the temperatures up longer, possibly, but not significant.
Okay. All right.
See, this is where my concern is coming from. I'm going to probably go for it, but I just want to state, like, when you're looking at Mary Morrison for robotics, right, the fire marshal said no because we were missing certain fire conditions.
Sprinklers.
So I'm just concerned, because he hasn't come in yet, to say, like, now it's going to be okay for the 4-year-olds. That's my main concern.
I think that was because of the equipment they were using, the machining that they were using, and the possible fire hazards around that. That was his reasoning. And he's very careful, fire marshal. He's got, like, most of our schools. He's got a big job, but he's working with us, and we're working with him. And I think that's, the community can feel certain that we will get this right. He'll make sure we get it right.
Yeah, no, that's why I said, like, should we amend it to, like, fire marshal?
No, I don't think we, I think
You want to say conditional approval of Mary Morrison?
our families need to know, though, and enroll, so I think to be fair, we have to.
But to be fair, if we approve this and the fire marshal says no, then we just basically...
Well, he didn't indicate that would happen. He indicated that we were working together and getting the code straight.
Yeah, no, I'm just like, either way, it's a bad... Yeah.
Yeah, although, the fire marshal, to my understanding, that was because he was designated it more as a manufacturing space versus an occupied student space. And the last thing, and although some might say that I'm not trusting and skeptical of things, this one I feel like there's universal support for inside the district. And we saw with all of the pre-K teachers that were here, everybody really wants to, this is going to come out, and it's not going to be perfect, but I think everybody is going to do everything possible to make it as best as we can for next year, and hopefully many years to come.
Yeah. I'm hoping the community gets behind it, like the town council really supports it, and the arts end, because it is a good program to have in our school, in our community. It's a plus.
They did approve the funds, and they seemed to be very enthusiastic when they approved the funds.
Because early childhood is the way to go
Yeah.
nowadays.
Yes,
I mean,
that's
a lot
the
of school
best way.
districts want early childhood.
Yeah, I'm not
You know.
threatening them against it.
No, I know what you're saying.
I just want to make sure that those little kiddos, like,
Yeah,
they're going to be fine.
yeah. We'll make sure they're going to be fine. That's why I'm asking Susan and Sam to constantly keep us updated all the time. I'm going to say it again. If there's any hitches, let us know immediately. Don't wait to the 11th hour, and stay on top of stuff. Mike and then Jay.
Yeah, it's just saying that I think this is, obviously these grants are part of a state initiative for early childhood, and I think we're in a position to be out in front of many of the other projects they're funding, so I think the community will get behind it, but I expect the state will see this as a shining example too. And then I encourage the state to provide more than 1 year of funding for each one, because the need for early childhood, even though it'll be a new crop of students, that will be a continued need to invest in. And it's well worth it.
Well, Learn is building a brand new early childhood center in Waterford.
It'll be done first.
Yeah, but the state is reimbursing them too. So, Jay?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that the issue of fire safety came up during the visit with the, was it the assistant commissioner? And the guidelines are different.
The guidelines are different.
And I understand we are already working toward that second egress. So I believe it's a totally different scenario, as Adrian alluded to, than having robotics there.
Yeah.
So I too, have some concerns. I'll be honest about the the cost of what we might have to do with the parking lot. But I think, we are receiving a lot of money from the state that will cover a number of items. And so I think it's in the best interest of the district to move forward.
Yeah, and it brings us closer to our vision of student success, because we want students to be successful. If we can get them in school earlier and with high quality education and some fun and some play, we don't want it to be all work and no play. I think this will help us in the long run. So, let's take a vote. All those in favor to approve Early Childhood Center at Mary Morrison, raise your hand if you're online. 1, 2, 3. If you're in person, just say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Okay. And that's 1, 2, 3, 7 to 0. To 0. Okay, next item is number 6. Discussion of possible action regarding approval for funding from the Workforce Development Project supported by Electric Boat and Navy's Maritime Industrial Base for machine shop at Fitch High School. Adrian, can you read the motion for me, please?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve the funding from the Workforce Development Project supported by Electric Boat and the Navy's Maritime Industrial Base for the machine shop at Fitch High School in the amount of $248,499.35.
Second.
Second, Mike. Okay, Susan?
So, I had mentioned that I will be meeting with the coaches, because I think it's really important that our robotics team, feels at home. They certainly made us proud at the Association of Defense Communities, and they and other students were interviewed and talked about and showcased their work, and really made us all proud. Today, I was at a breakfast presentation from Electric Boat with many people from Electric Boat, and the president gave the keynote address and had Congressman Courtney and Senator Blumenthal there. Congressman Courtney got up and spoke, and he talked about workplace development and talked about his congressional grant went to Groton in the way of career pathways, and Chelsea Courtright was in charge of that. And with that good work, we're here. She was the one who made the connection with Electric Boat and the boat program. And I've told you that we have students who were already signed up for a job, and those jobs are really, making good salaries that will lead to salaries like a teacher makes very soon. And then they'll get a trades education. But Congressman Courtney gave a shout out to Groton and Fitch High School and the Manufacturing Center, machining, and what a great opportunity this is for workforce development. And knowing our work with the Anchor program with URI and UConn and getting credit, he really boasted. I felt really proud to be there. I was the only superintendent in the room. There are a lot of admirals and captains and EB people and, other representatives, but I was invited and very happy to be there. I do think from cradle to career, we're just bringing our kids back and enriching their lives for the future, getting them future ready. So I think this is a big piece of it.
Thank you. Ian?
No, thank you. I have some concerns, as have been well noted already, I'm sure, but here's the thing. I'm uncomfortable, as I mentioned in the last week, I'm surprised to see this on the agenda tonight, since we had scheduled a meeting for next week. We just talked about earlier tonight, where we're going to do the walkthrough with the site plans and get a sense of how well this is all really going to fit and how well the facilities can accommodate both robotics and the manufacturing thing. To that end, I understand there are deadlines and things, but also, as it came to my attention over the weekend that this item is already on the agenda for the town council meeting tomorrow night. And so I don't understand how we could move forward with this without having the curriculum in place, without having a site plan in place, without having a firm understanding of how how all the programs can coexist. And I guess I'm not sure where the rest of the board is on this. But I have an amendment to the language. If it's the will of the board to try to move forward with this without having a good look at the site plan and understand the curriculum, I don't understand how we have students signed up for a curriculum that doesn't exist as of yet, because this funding is for developing a curriculum. So, we have maybe an interest survey? Is that what I'm hearing? Is that what you mean by signing up?
Are you talking about students?
Yeah, at some point in the meetings in the past, last week there was discussion about students already signed up.
Right, they're on the boat program, so they get training, and then they're offered jobs. So they sign, and then there's a signing day where they're officially given the job and a hard hat at Grosso Tech.
Are you talking about that, Ian, or talking about the curriculum?
We're talking about the class that the manufacturing class as it would be at
Fitch High School. That's what he's talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're saying that's not what you were saying last week? Like, there was nobody signed up for this class as of yet?
Oh, I had said there would, I'm sorry. Now you've made it clear to me, Ian. What Matt Brown did was I did a survey, and he said, if there were a robotics class, would you sign up? And 55 kids said they would.
Okay, so there's interest in
Right.
Okay. So, I guess, I don't know. I would like to hear the rest of the board and look and see what they think on this, but my major concern right now is it sort of locks in to the machine shop. So if the will of the board is to move forward with this, just to get the money locked in, without having a site plan, without having a firm, understanding of how the two programs can coexist in the same space, or in parallel spaces, then I don't think we should have a motion that's identifying the machine shop as the space, where all this stuff is gonna go. So, first and foremost, I'd like to hear from the rest of the board to see if there is comfort about moving forward, despite the fact that we have not had the advanced planning on this project that was asked for. I was only saying that we're going to be handling this issue next week, March 30th. And then the vote will move forward from there. So I was shocked to see it on the agenda tonight. I was shocked to see it on the agenda from town council tomorrow night. So, I don't know, I'd like to just bounce it around the board.
I gotta wait for them to stop talking.
But I do want to reserve the right to add an amendment before we vote on anything. If there is actually willing to move forward.
Well, it's on the agenda, I guess, for the town council, just in case it passed tonight here, then it would go to the town council immediately. If it fails here, then you can always take stuff off the agenda. So it's just looking forward. If it passes here tonight, then we're ready to go with the town council and into the RTM. If it doesn't pass here tonight, then it doesn't go forward with the town council. And I think Jen has something to say, and then Adrian has his hand up.
Yeah, so I think, and Beverly, just hop in if I misread this, or I'm interpreting it incorrectly, but this is to approve the funding, so to accept the receipt of the grant from Electric Boat, similar to how we did Mary Morrison. We accepted the original $600,000, I believe, and then tonight we voted on the Mary Morrison Early Childhood Center. So this is to get the funding in place, and then I'm assuming after that meeting next week, we would either have more questions or we would move forward with the dream concept. I was asking a lot of questions because I felt like there was a big gap, from the original presentation. But as long as those questions are addressed, I see no issue with moving forward because, like the Early Childhood Center, this is a benefit to our students who may not choose to go to college immediately, and it also will help with the financial gap that exists within our community to be able to graduate from high school and earn a decent living. So it is a good investment. We just need to make sure that we have a plan in place and that it's executable. So that's how I'm seeing it.
All right. I mean, fundamentally, I'm in favor of this project, and I think it will be great for lots of students to kind of work that really want to work with their hands or more involved in machining things. I also have concerns that it says the Green Industrial Base for the machine shop. And we haven't seen the plan yet for the machine shop. So I would, like to make an amendment just with some small changes, but changing the to a machine shop. And then at the end of this, I won't make the motion yet because I know, Ian had already, or the amendment yet, but because I know Ian had an idea. But then at the end of this, follow it with in accordance with a board-approved plan. So that basically it ties this whole project back to the board approving a plan. So in the machine shop is, we'll see the plan, and if the board feels that there modifications are needed, we can talk about that based on once we have all the information.
That's a good one. Yeah, I like that.
And Ian, you have your hand up?
So thank you, Adrian, for that input. And I'll just put it out there now. I guess I'll make a motion to amend such that the motion, we remove the language for the machine shop, and in its place installed in accordance with a board-approved plan. So the total motion would read to approve funding from the workforce development project supported by Electric Boat and the Navy's Maritime Industrial Base in accordance with a board-approved plan at Fitch High School in the amount of $249,935.
So,
Okay, go ahead.
I second that.
yeah,
Wait, who seconded that? Jay?
Jay.
Okay.
I just want to make
For
sure.
discussion.
For discussion, yeah. I just want to make sure, like, how the award is, right? Because the award is specifically for a machine shop.
Yeah, you have to put
So
the form in
the machine shop needs to stay.
And then you put it in accordance with the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Machine shop has to stay. Because they could have, like, they've invested in welding, they've invested, or, not here, but in other locations.
I like Adrian's motion because it says for a machine shop with accordance to Board of Ed approved plan.
All right. She's not with bad language, so in that case, I would defer to Adrian's suggestion then.
Okay, thank you, Ian.
All right, so do you guys want to
Wait, so,
send their motions?
excuse me?
They had motion in second.
No, nobody seconded. Who
Oh, I
seconded?
thought Jay seconded.
Oh, Jay did.
Oh, Jay did. Oh, you want to rescind their second, Jay?
Yes.
Okay. Ian, you want to rescind your motion?
Yep.
Okay. Adrian, Adrian, you wrote, to approve funding from the Workforce Development Project supported by Electric Boat and the Navy's Maritime Industrial Base for a machine shop at Fitch High School in the amount of $248,199.35 with accordance to Board of Ed.
Or in accordance.
In accordance to Board of Ed approved plan.
Correct.
With the board approved.
So that would be my motion.
So have a second?
I'll second that point.
Okay. Any further discussion?
So the only thing about this is I would just add, can we do that? Like refer to something that's going to happen in the future by accepting something today? Is that?
What do you want? Because we did it for the state grad, for the Mary Morrison one.
Oh, it's like an if-then?
Yeah.
We started spending the money.
Are we accepting that? I mean, I think this is the principle. This is good, and I'm just being kind of devil's advocate. Can we say we're going to take it? Well, we're going to put this little caveat later on.
Well, I think this is good because we want the board to approve the plan.
We're
going to make it work.
We're going to make it work.
Yeah, we're going to make it work. And we're going to hang that.
Yeah, I think we can. Because we're going to accept the money and the board has to approve the plan.
Yeah. We're going to make it work.
Okay.
We're going to make it work. I mean, like, we're probably going to approve this. Like I said, it's a good thing, right? We just need to make sure that, like, we have a plan in place to make it sustainable, that the kids will be able to get a career out of it should they choose to, participate in the program.
And many of the kids who want to take these courses are the kids in robotics. They've already said that, that they're excited about. They want to be engineers and, they want to job.
All right, let's vote on this. All those in favor of the motion? Okay, we have Adrian made the motion, Ian seconded Adrian made the amended motion, Ian seconded. All those in favor of the amendment, the motion as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, that is 7-0. Okay, let's vote in favor of the motion. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you all. I really appreciate your support and the support to this project.
And a lot of school districts are going this way too. Workforce.
That's what the whole conversation was, that our Grosso techs and our tech schools can't support the 8,000 that they have to employ. So all the comprehensive schools are doing a piece of this somewhere. So.
Just a quick parliamentary note, we should be sure to send the communication of this to the town council so they can amend their motion for tomorrow night to change the D to an A and to add the phrase in accordance with the board food plan.
I don't know if they're just accepting the funds, though. I don't think they have
So
anything,
the motion is written
just like this.
with this, yeah, so we'll have to correct that language.
We'll send it to John Berg.
Okay, or you, yeah, either way. All right, item number 9, discussion and possible action regarding approval of June 18th, 2026 as the graduation date for the 2025-2026 school year, and June 22nd as the graduation rain date for the 2025-2026 school year.
Can I just add something that I found out from the State Department? Just, we can do this, but we might have to give the kids the actual diploma the next week on the 180th day, which would be the 23rd. So we'll probably have a breakfast for them like we usually do, but we can do the graduation.
Well, let's have the motion.
Okay.
Jen, you want to read the motion?
Motion to approve June 18, 2026 as the graduation date for the 2025-2026 school year, and June 22nd, 2026 as the graduation rain date for the 2025-2026 school year.
Do I have a second? No seconds?
You don't want to write things?
Second? Okay. What's the problem, guys?
Can I have a question?
Mike?
I do have a
You
question.
didn't second it, so go ahead.
So, I guess my first question is, what's the last day of school slated to be?
So the last day for kids is the 23rd, and the last day for teachers is a professional development day on the 24th.
So, I guess why not have the graduation on the last day of school? That's my question.
I guess that what we've done in the past has always been that Friday people say that they've got family coming into town and that kind of thing, so we kind of planned it for the 18th and then the rain date on the Monday, so if you did have family coming into town. That's what we've done in the past, so it's kind of a thing.
And we can't do, and to be clear, we can't do the Friday because it's Juneteenth, and we're going to hit that, where that would be would be a day out for school?
Yeah. It's a national holiday.
Adrian, and then Jen?
Yeah, so even though Juneteenth is, we've accepted it, I mean, this is a celebration event and not a school day, and most of the staff may attend, but I don't think that they would necessarily be getting paid specifically for this, except for janitorial. We would be asking some admin to attend. So before I would propose to put a graduation on Juneteenth, I would rather see what parties that celebrate Juneteenth would say about that. But I'm just putting that out there as it's really a celebration and not like a school or a work day. And my big concern with this is having like a date of June 18th and then a rain date of June 22nd, because if people are flying in for a graduation or for traveling in, I mean, to have it 4 days apart seems unrealistic. And I like the idea of a rain date because all those families that fly in, if it rains, they just can't go essentially because it's just mom and dad or whoever the caregiver happens to be that gets to go and sit down. So I would rather see, if we do graduation that early, I would be a little bit concerned about, I'm not so concerned about the seniors because I'm guessing that they've more or less checked out from the learning, the last week of school, but the learning for all of the other students, that would take place on those days.
They checked out too.
Well, they're doing fine.
We have like elementary and middle school stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of important learning, and we have, there's 180 school days. It's not a ton of education that we get in the first place. So if we lose 4 days or something like that, because all of a sudden learning goes away because of graduation, really. But in any event, I would be for doing it on June 18th or June 19th. All right, so if June 19th doesn't work for celebration, June 20th, like Saturday, I wouldn't approve like having a rain date of 4 days away.
I know that we really rely on the staff, and I don't know that we would get the support we needed to run a graduation. We also have teachers from across the district, kindergarten teachers who come, so I think if it were on a work day, you'd see more of a celebration with the staff too there.
So I'll just follow up with, if we have graduation on a school day and we're expecting, and we think teachers are going to show up, so graduation would be at like 6 o'clock or something, like after.
Yeah, and they do show up.
You want to say?
Yeah.
I mean, Adrian.
Here's the thing. I guarantee you that most parents will take their kid out that Friday, and you won't see a lot of kids here that Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. Because, like, even my parents who, like, I never skipped school, they would be like, yeah, we're going. But regardless, we're adding this rain date. We've never had a rain date, right? Like, it was a backup rain date.
We did have it on our agenda last year, but I don't think it went. I don't think it flew.
So forget about the rain date. If it rains on June 18th, it's in the auditorium, too bad. The rest of us I ended up like 30 years ago or whatever, ended up in the rain date in the auditorium. My son graduated several years ago in the auditorium. Too bad. We can't control the weather. And if the rain date's going to cause issues, because it's a week later or like the following week, even though it's just a couple days, sorry, no rain date. That's my recommendation. And I know it's harsh.
Right, no rain date. Yeah, no rain date. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with the no rain date, because I think last year Mark was quite persuasive about setting up in 2 places for one day was way easier than setting up and taking apart it outside. That was a big...
I remember Mark saying that.
Yeah. So we did have, as you said, we had it in the agenda to have a rain date, and then that was amended. And that motion was from you actually.
Same motion this year, no rain date.
And we'll do something fun for the seniors to come back and get their diploma. We'll do like a breakfast, and they come for that though.
No, they're going to be like flying somewhere.
Ian. Okay, Ian. Go ahead, Ian.
Well, yeah, just want to make an official motion to amend and remove the rain date.
Okay.
I think we're discussing it.
Yeah, we're still
Make a
discussing.
motion to amend, we remove language for the rain date and carry forward.
Second, I'll second it. Okay, but Mike, so are you still uncomfortable with June 18th?
I was just wondering about that. So thank you for mentioning the last day of school. Once we have snow, right? Is currently for the 23rd. Is that the 181 day mark, or is it the 180?
It's 180.
It is 180, so we don't have any wiggle room. So 23rd is set. That's a Tuesday. I'm just wondering if is there, having it, we traditionally would have it on the last day of school, I think. Is there something that makes that 18th better than the 23rd?
Just that the weekend thing, that we've always done it closer to the weekend. The 18th, we could have set the 18th at any time, and had we set it, it could stick. So what I've learned from Kate Erickson, I think you told me that Lauren, she was going to do the diploma on the 180th day to make it official. So they'd have to come and get their diploma, or I guess we could mail it out, but we'd make it kind of an extra celebration for them.
Okay, and then we'll coordinate. I don't know if Grasso set theirs yet.
Yeah.
But we at least want to be at a different time.
So let's say 6 o'clock.
What did you do last year, 5?
Well,
It's like 4:30 or 5.
4:30?
Yeah, we do it that
To
early.
miss the rain.
It was like 4:30 or 5.
Because then you miss the rolling rain.
Oh, is that right?
You told us
Last year, I was thinking about
the
that.
Terry Hinkle.
It seems like, you know.
Well, we could set it for 4:35 if you wanted to, that'd be fine.
So, okay, let's vote on the amendment to take away the graduation rain date for June 22nd. So, there's no rain date. All those in favor of eliminating the rain date, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so that passes 7-0 to 0. Okay, no rain date. Now, any more discussion for the June 18th?
I'll just throw out there also that a lot of students work. So especially for seniors, I'll speak for my own, they kind of need to get started with work. So pushing it out another 4 days has an effect on that too.
Okay.
Let's just get it done.
Any other discussion on June 18th as a graduation date?
What are we going to hand the kids? Is it going to be like?
Oh, it'll be their nice portfolio.
A show of
A surprise.
Honestly, what often you do is you hand out the container for the diploma, and then they'll put the diploma in afterwards. I mean, that's one way to do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All those in favor of to approve June 18, 2026 as the graduation date for the 2025-2026 school year, say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Okay, that approves. That passes 7-0 to 0. Okay, next, number 10, discussion of possible action regarding recognition of Paraprofessional Appreciation Day. Jenny, you want to read that for me?
I make a motion to recognize April 3rd, 2026 as Paraprofessional Appreciation Day and to direct the superintendent of schools to send a letter of appreciation to the paraprofessionals.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Adrian? Okay, any comments or discussion? I just want to say thank you to all the paraprofessionals. You are much needed staff in our school district. Our kids need you. The teachers need you. Thank you for all you do. And we really appreciate you, even though you may at times feel like we don't appreciate you. I can say for myself, I do appreciate you. And so does the rest of the board, if I could speak for the board. So thank you, Mike.
I just want to say it's Board Member Appreciation Month. I feel like we should get a day, and the paraprofessionals and the administrative professionals should at least get a month.
Yeah, if we got a month, they should get a month. Yeah.
I was just going to basically echo what both of you said without saying it again. They really do a tremendous amount of work and a very difficult job that I personally could not handle. So I appreciate that.
I will happily do this.
Okay, all those in favor of the motion as read, say aye.
Aye.
Abstentions? Okay, so carry 7-0. And the next one, Mike, can you read the last one for me?
Sure. This is Administrative Professional Day?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I move to recognize April 22nd, 2026 as Administrative Professionals Day and to direct the superintendent of schools to send a letter of appreciation to the administrative professionals.
Do I have a second? Second.
Andrea.
Okay, Andrea. Okay, any discussion?
Yes, I want to read that motion.
Oh, you want to read it?
Well, I wanted to read it because, again, my son and the custodians, the administrative assistants have saved my little soul. And I can't tell you, even to this day, I still remember those times. And I thank you so much. And I hope that even the people who love me, who are no longer in the district, get this message from me.
I echo your sentiments. Exactly. I echo those sentiments.
Yeah, ditto.
Don't know what I would do without them. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, and I don't deal with all the administrative assistants. I deal with Joyce and Erica, and they have done a lot for me, helping me out. But I'm sure throughout the school district, administrative assistants have done a lot to help principals out, assistant principals out, and whoever else they come in contact with that needs help. So people in Sam has an administrative assistant. She's great, and I don't think we could run the school district without the administrative assistants.
Absolutely not.
So thank you. Okay, all those in favor of approving April 22nd as Administrative Professional Day, and to direct the superintendent of schools to send a letter of appreciation to the administrative professionals. Say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Opposed? Abstentions? That passes 7-0. My paper's so messy. Okay, next on the agenda, I think I went through all the action items. Okay, good. Next is letters, communication, and comments by board members on meeting items and any other items in your jurisdiction. Do you have anything? Ian?
Yes, before this letter went to the full board, it was from Mr. Jenkins, and she wrote on behalf of the robotics team. And long story short, it expressed a number of concerns about how the robotics team is going to continue to exist, with the manufacturing program, and expressed some concerns that were raised on account of the meeting that we had and the questions that were asked. And basically, I think if none of the other board members, or if anyone has not read it yet, I encourage you to read it. And it goes on to just identify the fact that, the robotics team has been here a long time. They've done a lot of positive work. They are, well established and well regarded in what they do. And
You know what, Ian, maybe we can have them come to the meeting on Monday. Can you invite them?
That's exactly my question was
to come to the meeting?
Can we have them join us for March 30th?
I think that would clear up a lot of things.
Let me talk to the coaches first. I've got that meeting first. Let me do one thing
I would
at a
like
time.
them to see if they can come to the meeting.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, I would second that request, and I would definitely, I think
Then we have all bodies there at the same time.
all the players at the table.
Right.
Exactly. Because if you ain't on the table, you're on the menu. All right.
Okay, thank you, Ian. Thank you. Anybody else?
I was just going to say that I've had multiple emails from different things regarding our budget as far as supporting things, which we have supported thus far. And I just encourage, I don't know if anybody's still listening at 20 of 10, but people to come speak on Wednesday. If you support our budget, that is the time to support it, not to necessarily the board members after we've voted, but to the rest of the town, and tell them what's important to you.
Anyone else? Okay, so we got the future meeting dates.
Jay's good.
Jay? Yep, go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I agree that one day for our paraprofessionals and administrative professionals is not enough. We appreciate all of them every day, as we do, all the staff and teachers. So I just want to say thank you.
All right, so don't forget, Wednesday is a public hearing at 5:50. Is it at 5:55? Yes. Yeah, at 5:55, the public hearing at 6 o'clock. And then next week, we'll have a meeting on March 30th at the high school. We'll take a little tour of the space. And then we'll have a meeting after that. And then Tuesday is the we meet with the town council with our budget. And I haven't heard from some people about the retreat. So I'd like to hear, I didn't hear from Jay or Ian or Mitch. I heard back from Sean. So I need to hear from you. If any dates in April do not work for you, please let me know. I sent that email out at least a week ago, so you have plenty of time to look and see. And also, Joyce asked me to ask you guys that don't have your packets picked up, if you can come to the office and pick them up. They don't have space to pile up Board of Ed packets that you don't come pick up. Either come pick them up in a timely fashion or get them delivered to your house, because space is at a minimum up in the front.
They're none there, in fact.
There's none there?
There aren't any? They're all done?
They're all good.
They're done, okay. So she gave me that message a couple of days ago. I'm just repeating it. She said I could say her name too. So, nothing else, I guess. A motion to...
One more thing?
Just one more thing.
Just
One more thing. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You got it.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, it is 9:40, and we are adjourned. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? We adjourn at 9:40. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.